morning. You are watching ABC News and this is ABC Headlines. I am Jennifer Samoa. Coming up in the headlines. Following public backlash at the Ghana Police Service for abusing the rights of a 4-month pregnant protester in the Democracy Hub demonstration, the police has released reports that Vera Louise is not pregnant. Also, the Electoral Commission has rejected calls from the opposition National Democratic Congress for of the Provisional Voters Register. Still to come, the board chairman of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Majority Leader of Parliament, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, has dismissed recent calls for the board's dissolution as unjustified and misplaced. We have these and many more coming up. Do stay tuned. This is ABC Headlines. Now to our first story. The Ghana Police Service has clarified that it is not true that one of the accused persons in the Democracy Hub Street protest case was pregnant, and the police have kept her in custody without medical care. In a press statement updating the public on police actions on last weekend's street protest, the police explained that in the case of the alleged pregnant woman, Gloria Vera Louise, we would like to clarify that at the time of the arrest, there was no visible indication that she was pregnant. Additionally, at no point during the arrest or subsequent interactions did the said suspect inform the police of a pregnancy. Again, there was no communication to the court of any such condition, either by herself or through her lawyers. Under the Criminal and Other Offences Procedure Act 1960 Act 30, before any woman can be jailed or detained, a test must be conducted on her to ascertain whether or not she is pregnant. It is not necessarily applicable in remand cases, but the police has a responsibility to protect those under their care. The police, in the update on the Democracy Hub protest issued on Thursday night, explained that to establish the veracity or otherwise of the claim in the public domain of the alleged pregnancy, the police took the initiative and sent Gloria Vera Louise to the police hospital and an independent health facility for a thorough medical examination. Both medical results came out negative, suggesting that Gloria Vera Louise is not pregnant as claimed. The statement signed by Gloria Ansa Ekrofi, an Assistant Commissioner of Police and Director of Police Public Affairs, said. Let's look at the accused Vera Louise in court yesterday.
She's almost pregnant. That is Vera. That's Vera. She's pregnant. She's almost pregnant. This is my mother. They are not even protested. We are not protested. And then you take us and then you take us. Our parents don't even know where we are. Please, what's the name? Vera, what do you say? What do you say? What do you say? Vera, what do you say?
Meanwhile, lawyers of arrested protesters say they don't believe the report churned out by the Ghana Police Service that their client Vera Louise is not pregnant. Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tuah-Yeboah stressed that it is the responsibility of the Defense Counsel to inform the court of their client's pregnancy. Joining us via Zoom is one of the defense lawyers of the protesters, lawyer Noah Adamte, for a conversation. Thank you and good morning for joining us.
Thank you and good morning too for having me on the show.
Well, lawyer, I believe you have received the briefings from the Ghana Police Service on the outcome of the test run on your client. I want to know if you know Vera and if she's truly pregnant, because the Office of the Attorney General has expressed disappointment over the failure of lawyers representing Vera for not informing the court of her pregnancy during her bail hearing.
Yeah, so I think after court yesterday, somewhere later in the evening, I also saw the notice from the Ghana Police Service indicating that Vera wasn't pregnant based on tests conducted by them. I found it quite surprising because the information we had received was that she was pregnant. But I also find the posture of the states through the Attorney General and the police quite surprising, in the sense that if the Attorney General comes out to say that it was the duty of the lawyers to inform the court if the accused person was pregnant, that in itself is not wrong on the face of it. But the Attorney General, whose duty is not just to convict accused persons, but to ensure justice is done, bears a more important duty to ensure the rights of accused persons are protected from the time of their arrest till the time that a court of competent jurisdiction pronounce their guilt or innocence at the end of the trial. The AG knows that from the moment the protesters were arrested, efforts have been made by the police under the guise of an order from above not to allow lawyers and relations of these protesters to have any form of interaction with them. So the AG and the police knows that lawyers for the protesters only had the chance to know their condition on the day, that's the first day they appeared in court. And on the first day they appeared in court, we had less than 3 minutes to speak to them before they were arraigned and before the court remanded them to custody. It was only after the court that we were informed that she was pregnant, and that information had been communicated to the police. I mean, without admitting that she did not even communicate it to the police. When it came out that she was pregnant, the police, who had kept her for about 48 hours before she being arraigned, should have immediately informed her relations about that condition and allowed them access to her before they would even conduct whatever test they were to conduct. You cannot detain a person who has intimated that she is pregnant without granting her lawyers access to her and her relations access to her. The point in criminal justice is that not only must justice be done, but justice must be seen to have been done. And so the AG and the police posture of depriving persons who are ill and a person who has come out on her own to say she's pregnant the chance to have access to her lawyers and her relations, and only come out days later to say that they have conducted tests and she was not pregnant, as if that would justify what had gone on before the test, the so-called test, was conducted. The question that the AG should be asking himself is, what if she was actually pregnant? When she had intimated to the police that she was pregnant, and her lawyers had not been given access to her to know of her situation. If she was actually pregnant, or if she is actually pregnant, wouldn't her right have been breached, and wouldn't it have been a duty on the police and the prosecution to have brought it to the attention of the court when they knew they had not given her lawyers access to her and her family access to her? So this is just an attempt to shift blames when the AG comes to say it is the duty of the lawyers to inform the court. When the AG knows that the lawyers were not in a position to know whether she was actually pregnant, simply because the lawyers had not been given the chance to conference with her, and we only got to know after the arraignment before the court on the third day that Vera was brought before the court.
So will you consider appealing to the police service to run your test if permitted to close this chapter of the police service abusing the rights of a pregnant woman?
Yes, we would respond to the police communique. And as I have mentioned, the sequence of human rights abuses shown by the police over the past few days, we cannot trust the police and any state agency in this situation to determine whether or not the person is actually pregnant. At least all we have seen is even the communique from the police. We have not seen the test results actually. So we'll write to the police to allow us also to use private medical facilities to conduct the test. And then we would also inform ourselves on the way forward.
But the police has also denied detaining the accused for 48 hours. Is it the case? Without food and water also?
No, so there are the argument is that there are some accused persons who were detained beyond 48 hours. Not that all of the accused persons were detained beyond 48 hours. You see, the police itself and the Attorney General's office puts themselves in an unreasonable situation. Some people were arrested on Sunday and some were arrested on Monday. Someone was even arrested on Tuesday evening. Now, in an unreasonable attempt to inconvenience these people, because the prosecution knew they must arraign these persons within 48 hours, they deliberately were counting the hours to ensure that they will bring the accused persons on the eve of the 48 hours. So somewhere around 45, 46 hours before they will be arraigned. So they had to be calculating. If you are arrested at 4 p.m. on Sunday, let's calculate when your 48 hours will reach. If you are arrested on Monday, let's calculate when your 48 hours will reach. So they were doing that calculation to bring them in court with just the sole purpose to inconvenience these people. And it is this deliberate tactic to inconvenience them that's occasioned some of them sieving out of their knowledge, and they being brought beyond the 48 hours. So we will bring this to the attention of the courts and ask the courts that the rights of these people were breached since they were kept by the police and the state beyond the 48 hours.
Well, lawyer, before I let you go, as a lawyer, if it turns out that truly Vera is not pregnant after a thorough test, what will be the gravity of her case?
No, it does not affect her case in any way. If she says she's pregnant and that is confirmed by her relations that she was actually pregnant, and it turns out that she is not, it does not mean she's guilty of the offense. It does not mean so. And does not even mean that the court should not grant her bail on the next application. The conditions in determining a person's guilt is that the prosecution at the end of the case must persuade the court that the accused person is guilty beyond reasonable doubt. So the issue of her being pregnant or not does not come into play at all in determining her guilt. On the other hand, the conditions the court must take into account in determining bail does not also implicate whether or not the person is pregnant or whether or not the person lied about a pregnancy. It does not implicate that. So it does not affect her case and her innocence in any way. And we are convinced the courts will have that in mind when proceeding with the case of Vera.
So after the test, if the lady is pregnant, how is it going to also affect the case? And what will it do to the...
After the case, if she is pregnant, then we have a strong basis to demand her release, at least even if to the care of a hospital, so that she can receive appropriate medical care throughout the period of her pregnancy. So that is what we will do. That's what we will invite the courts, and we will also invite the Attorney General and other concerned officers in the country, like the Ministry of Gender, to intervene and grant her release so that she can receive appropriate medical care.
Well, finally, if it actually turns out that she's pregnant, what kind of charges will you press against the state?
No, so definitely, if she's pregnant, the charge that will bring against the state will be human rights abuses. Okay, and here it will basically be on her right to personal liberty and then her right to dignity. These are the charges we'll bring against the state, particularly because she informed the police of her pregnancy, and also because the police and the Attorney General have lied about her condition. So we would definitely bring human rights action against the state and the police, that is the IGP.
All right, thank you very much, Lawyer Noah Adamte. He is the defense lawyer of the protesters, and he's been giving us updates. Well, today we found out that the pregnant woman during the demonstration was arrested. The police says they conducted some tests on her and they found out that she is indeed not pregnant. So we had a conversation with the lawyer to give us certain updates. Well, let's move away from that to some election stories, as the Electoral Commission has yet again rejected calls from the opposition National Democratic Congress for of the Provisional Voters Register. The EC maintains that the legal and administrative processes established to clean the register have not been fully exhausted, and thus a forensic audit is not justified at this stage. This stance was communicated in a letter addressed to NDC Chairman Johnson Esiedu Nketia following the party's petition submitted after a demonstration on September 17. As a commission, we are of the view that the existing legal and administrative processes for cleaning the PVR have not been fully exhausted to justify the call for a forensic audit, the EC stated. The Electoral Commission has assured the National Democratic Congress and the general public that the Commission will re-exhibit the corrected Provisional Voters Register online before the final register is printed for the 2024 elections. This was contained in response to the petition submitted to the EC by the NDC at the end of the party's demonstration on Tuesday, 17 September 2024. The NDC had demanded a 5-day re-exhibition of the Provisional Voters Register after the forensic audit is completed. This, they said, would enable registered voters, including those affected by the errors, to verify their details and confirm the integrity of the voters register. Without such a re-exhibition, many legitimate voters will be disenfranchised. Away from that, the board chairman of the Electricity Company of Ghana and Majority Leader of Parliament, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, has dismissed recent calls for the board's dissolution as unjustified and misplaced. The Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, in its recent releases and press engagements, have called for the board of ECG to be dissolved based on allegations of mismanagement and escalating financial losses within the company. According to ACEP company's growing revenue losses, which reportedly increased from 195 million Ghana cedi in 2017 to 9.7 billion Ghana cedi by 2022, is unpardonable. However, during the appointment as the acting managing director of ECG to replace the resigned Dubik Mahama, the board chair, Afenyo-Markin, responded by stating that dissolving the board is not the solution to the company's challenges. He argued that what is needed instead is a stronger focus on stakeholder engagement and collaboration to ensure ECG's efficient operations. He further stressed that engaging key players within the energy sector and addressing operational issues would resolve the company's challenges more effectively rather than resorting to board dismissal. Meanwhile, the Electricity Company of Ghana has appointed the Deputy Director of Customer Service, David Buedi Asamoah, as the new acting managing director. His appointment follows the resignation of the immediate past managing director, Samuel Dupik Mahama, on Wednesday, September 25. According to the resignation letter by Samuel Dupik, he resigned on personal grounds at an emergency board meeting held on Thursday, September 26. The ECG board confirmed David Buedi Asamoah's appointment with immediate effect. Away from that, the National Identification Authority has announced that it will begin the Ghana card registration for minors aged between 6 and 14 years starting on October 7, 2024. This exercise is part of the government's ongoing effort to ensure every citizen is included in the national identification system. The first phase of the registration will be conducted in schools across selected districts, a strategic move to provide easy access to eligible children. By targeting schools, the NIA aims to streamline the process and make it convenient for parents and guardians to register their children. Speaking to City News, Alfred Gazari, Deputy Director of Operations at the NIA, highlighted the significance of this registration. He emphasized that incorporating children into the national database is essential to achieving comprehensive identification for all Ghanaians. It's important that we do such registration for children between 6 to 14 years. It's part of the plan to register every Ghanaian in the country. Now let's do some education, as the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CTAG, is set to resume its strike on Tuesday, October 1, 2024, just after ending the longest industrial action a month ago. According to CTAG, the decision arises from the government's continued failure to honor prior agreements concerning their allowances. Dominic Owusu, a spokesperson for CTAG earlier this week, expressed frustration over the situation, stating that despite assurances from the government, the promised allowances remain unpaid. He emphasized that the upcoming strike is intended to compel meaningful dialogue and achieve a conclusive, satisfactory resolution to the members' demands. The association warned that if nothing was done by this week concerning their demands, they would declare another strike. Information to ABC News has picked up suggests the college teachers will resume their strike on October 1, 2024 to press home their demands. Well, still on labor, the Mortuary Workers Association has also called off their strike. Well, these are the main stories for today. I am Jennifer Samoa. Up next is ABC in the Morning. Do stay tuned.
morning. You're watching ABC in the morning. Welcome to ABC in the morning. Today is Friday, 27th of September 2024, and we are glad that you have joined us on ABC News GH. On ABC in the morning, we'll bring you news insights, we'll bring you trends and all that you need for a complete day. The show is a packed show today. The show has so much to give you. The conversations and engagements will be very riveting. And on politics today, we are bringing you something very extraordinary. You would love it. So stay with us on ABC News and enjoy everything that we have for you. We are streaming live on YouTube, ABC News GH. ABC News GH. That is where we are streaming live. I am Abna Mantin. Thank you for joining us this morning on ABC in the morning. Front Story is up next. Stay with us. Watching us on ABC in the morning. Before we get into our front story, Kofi Annan said that you are never too young to lead and you should never doubt your capacity where others have triumphed. So never doubt yourself. You are never too young to lead. At any point in your life, if you're given the opportunity to lead, go for it, because don't doubt your capacity. You are able to do exceedingly more than you have envisioned for yourself. So if there's nothing for you to take away today, take away this from Kofi Annan, that you, my friend, are never too young to lead. In the same vein, you are never too old to also lead. At every point when we get the opportunity to make a decision to lead, let us take it, let us embrace the opportunity, and let us make the most of it. Today's conversation will be a very wonderful and interesting conversation. We are going to look at so many things. Interesting because so much has been happening in the airwaves, on our political space, and even in the labor space. And because of that, we want to look at conversations that are pertinent to us as a people. At every point in time, a decision is made and it affects a certain group of people. At another point in time, it affects everybody. But this time, we are looking at decisions by labor unions and also how government has taken a stance on those decisions by the labor unions. So today on Front Story, we will be looking at government's position in addressing heightened labor agitation. Front Story is up next. So Ghana has been grappling with labor union agitations all over the country, and for a few weeks now it's been heightened over and over again. We're experiencing a nationwide strike by university teachers and staff, and it began on 16th September. The strike involves several unions, which includes the Senior Staff Association of Universities of Ghana, the Teachers and Educational Workers Union, TEWU, of TUC, and the Federation of Senior Staff Association of Ghana, FUSAG. So 3 teacher unions have gone on strike. This strike is a result of government's failure to address issues that these groups say that are very pertinent to their livelihoods as staff. Some of the issues you would ask, what are they? Some of the issues are vehicle maintenance and pension allowances. Because of these issues, it has led to the disruption in tertiary education. Simultaneous strikes by these diverse groups threaten to disrupt essential services, very essential services, which include education, civic administration, and critical labor sectors. When teacher unions go on strike, the first group to be affected are always the students, because they are the ones who are given some essential or the essential services that students need. If these strikes proceed as planned, the impact on public services, the impact on education, the impact on the economy could be profound. And this is not something you can underestimate, potentially leading to a national crisis. A crisis that we should mitigate before we get there. A crisis that we should even end before it starts. As a result of this, University of Ghana has postponed the commencement of the 2024-2025 academic year. The premier university of the country has postponed the commencement of the academic year. This came in a statement issued by the Office of the Registrar on Wednesday, September 25, 2024, that confirmed the delay, informing students and stakeholders of this decision. It affects the entire academic community. It affects everybody in the academic community. The postponement stems from unresolved disputes between governments and these organizations or unions. These disputes that have not been resolved between government and these key unions. These key unions, like I said, they include TEWU, they include the Senior Staff Association, they include FUSAG. And to add to the above, the National Commission for Civic Education Staff also last week began an industrial strike over unfavorable working terms. So many strike actions here and there. You wake up in the morning, there's a strike action. By the time you are going to bed in the evening, there's another statement of another impending strike action. The question that we are asking is that what is government's posture in addressing labor unrest issues? What is government's posture? People have said that because we are in an election year, many of these labor unions or these labor groups are holding the government to ransom because they know that this is a critical period in the calendar, and so government has no other alternative than to listen to them and to do what they are asking, no matter how outrageous or not their requests are. But beyond what people have said about the posturing of the labor unions and whether they are holding government to ransom, our question this morning on Front Story is, what is government's position in addressing these unrest issues? They are becoming so many, one too many labor unrest issues. What is government's position? Let's take a look at tertiary unions and the strike that they are going on. Like I said, TEWU on strike, TEWU saying they'll go on strike, Senior Staff Association saying they'll go on strike, FUSAG also saying they will go on strike. So these are the tertiary unions embarking on strikes. The Colleges of Education Teachers Workers, CTAG, they began a strike on June 14th. If you have followed ABC News GH for a while, you would know that we have been on this CTAG issue for a long time. We've spoken to council member Isaiah Dukurong on various occasions, and they have told us that they are looking for certain things from government, and because they have not received it, strike. We even followed up to some of the education colleges, the colleges of education, to find out the mood on campus since lecturers or teachers were on strike, and nothing was happening. Most of the students had gone home because there was nothing to do. When we spoke with some of their we spoke with an SRC executive, he mentioned that it is something that almost always happens in the second semester of their education, the second semester of the academic calendar. So that is why some of the questions came up as, is it that the labor unions are holding government to ransom? Or do they have very, very legitimate concerns? So CTAG, Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, went on strike on 14th July 2024 and resumed on August 20, 2024. However, after their resumption in August, CTAG says they are set to strike at the end of September 2024. These are their demands. CTAG says that government should implement the implementation of the National Labour Commission's arbitrary awards. This is one of their requests from government. Payment of 1 month's salary to each member of CTAG for additional duties performed in 2022. CTAG said that they performed some duties in 2022, and because of that, they should be paid a month's salary. They should be paid a month's salary for those duties that CTAG performed. Another demand from CTAG is the application of agreed rates of allowances payable to public universities to deserving CTAG members. CTAG members say that the allowances that are paid to public universities, they too deserve it. So government should pay those allowances to them too. This is coming from CTAG. Let's look at more of the tertiary unions embarking on strikes. Away from CTAG, let's look at the Teachers and Education Workers Union, TEWU. So we have CTAG, we have TEWU, and TEWU embarked on a strike on 17th January 2024 and resumed on February 2024, 9th February 2024. These are the demands of TEWU. TEWU says that they need improved working conditions, like non-implementation of vehicle maintenance and off-campus allowances. They need a recalculation and an interest payment accrued from delayed Tier 2 deductions to the union scheme from January 2010 to 2016. They are owed some interest, and they need those interests to be paid, to be recalculated and paid to their union scheme. And all of these dates all the way back from 2010 to 2016. TEWU is also saying that they are demanding a regular remit of Tier 2 pension deductions to the union's pension scheme. These are some of the things that TEWU is asking for. Away from TEWU, let's look at the Senior Staff Association of Universities of Ghana. Senior Staff Association of Universities of Ghana. They went on strike on January 17 and also resumed on February 9th. They have been on strike since Monday, September 16, and are demanding that their working conditions be improved. So working conditions like the implementation of vehicle maintenance and off-campus allowances should be looked at. TEWU is asking for that. They said that it should be looked at, and they are expecting that from government. So these are some of the things that the tertiary unions embarking on strikes have been demanding, and they're expecting government to do it for them. We'll be speaking with Peter Northu Kotoi, Honorable Peter Northu Kotoi, who is a ranking member on education on these strikes. But before that, let's take the video from some of these strike actions. We'll be back. Stay with us.
The various strikes. There are different dimensions. some border on issues of implementation, as we are faced with in the case of the mortuary workers. And sometimes, too, it's about certain disagreement around the discussion table. And so it is normal. It is not only relative to elections here last year and years before. And so it is normal with our various engagements. And sometimes I think that certain, breaking communication, causes some of these kind of upheavals. And so I'll end by saying that we'll continue to plead that since government is committed, there's no need, because when you go on strike, the issues must be resolved. We should get around the table to resolve them. And so if we have demonstrated that commitment that, yes, indeed, we are ready to resolve the issues, I think I'll plead with my brothers to rescind their decision. And any other body that intends to go on strike, the most important thing is that when you have an issue, just come to the discussion table. We'll look at how best, unless the issue has been declared as a deadlock, we can't resolve, then you can initiate some of these steps to go on a strike. Thank you. I may not be able to point to any specific things to that effect, that this is the cause for such strike and all that. When you examine the various strikes, there are different dimensions. Some border on issues of implementation, as we are faced with in the case of the mortuary workers. And sometimes, too, it's about certain disagreement around the discussion table. And so it is normal. It is not only relative to elections here last year and years before. And so it is normal with our various engagements. And sometimes I think that certain, breaking communication, causes some of these kind of upheavals. And so I'll end by saying that we'll continue to plead that since government is committed, there's no need, because when you go on strike, the issues must be resolved. We should get around the table to resolve them. And so if we have demonstrated that commitment that, yes, indeed, we are ready to resolve the issues, I think I'll plead with my brothers to rescind their decision. And any other body that intends to go on strike, the most important thing is that when you have an issue, just come to the discussion table. We'll look at how best, unless the issue has been declared as a deadlock, we can't resolve, then you can initiate some of these steps to go on a strike. Thank you. I may not be able to point to any with the leadership to give us some space for the commitment that we had yesterday, duly signed by us, and then Ministry of Health, the regulator, and the rep of Ministry of Finance, and then the teaching hospitals. So we pleaded with them that they should rescind their decisions, and the commitment that we have demonstrated yesterday will ensure that the right things are done. Well, around the table, when we pleaded,
So you just heard from Professor Charles Adabo Opon of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. This is their response to the various strike actions that have happened. He's saying that the strikes are in no way connected with the upcoming elections, and is calling on the various labor unions to come to the negotiation table instead of resorting to strike actions, because he believes that negotiating will be a better avenue than the strikes. However, we have picked information this morning that UDS, the University for Development Studies, and the UNIMAC, yes, have also said that they will be postponing the opening of their schools. They will be postponing the academic calendar, the start or the beginning of the academic calendar. UDS and UNIMAC, GIG are planning on postponing the start of the academic calendar. We have a full statement from the University of Development Studies. This says, the management of the University for Development Studies wishes to inform all fresh and continuing students and the general public that the reopening date for the 2024-2025 academic calendar, which was slated for September 27, 2024, has been postponed indefinitely. This is due to the ongoing industrial action by the Ghana Association of Universities Administrators GAUA, the Senior Staff Association, Universities of Ghana, and the Teachers and Educational Workers Union of the Trades Union Congress, which has affected academic service delivery in the university. We have this by the UDS. We have this by the UDS. We'll see if we will receive one from the Unimac GIJ. But these are some of the strike coming up, some of the decisions that have been taken based on the strike by these various labor unions. They are agitating for things. They are agitating. They are unhappy about how things are going. This is from Unimac GIJ. This is from Unimac, postponing the commencement of the 2024-2025 academic year due to ongoing strike. This is to officially inform all students, faculty, and staff of the University of Media, Arts and Communication that the start of the 2024-2025 academic year, which was initially scheduled for Monday, September 30, 2024, has been postponed indefinitely. This decision is necessitated by the ongoing strike by the various administrative workers unions across public universities in Ghana. Management deeply regrets any inconvenience this may cause and assures the Unimac community that we are closely monitoring the situation. Once the strike is resolved, a revised academic calendar will be communicated promptly. Meanwhile, admission processes for prospective students, short courses, and special programs will continue as scheduled. We appreciate your understanding and patience during this period. Signed by management. So this is from Unimac, and also earlier I read the one from the University of Development Studies. These are some of the strike. These are some of the statements by the universities on the ongoing strike. Let's speak with Honorable Peter Norchu Kotoi. He is the ranking member on the Parliamentary Select Committee on Education. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my sister. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you, sir. I hope you're also fine.
Oh, very well.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, too.
Honorable, on these various strikes, how does government plan to address the impact of labor unrest on the education sector, particularly in terms of ensuring continuity, learning, and teacher welfare?
Thank you very much, and good morning again. This question should have been directed at the Minister for Education, rather, because he should be in a better position to tell us what they are doing as a government to make sure the academic calendar for tertiary institutions are not distorted. Nonetheless, let me say that the demands of these various unions and associations from the tertiary institutions at the universities are not new things. They are issues that they have tabled before the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. The National Labour Commission is aware, and so many people are aware, Minister of Finance, the Minister for Education. But it is the delay or the refusal of the appropriate authorities to implement the agreement. When a collective bargaining agreement is renewed, it is for government to implement it. You have agreed that you will pay them so amount of money, arrears of allowances. What prevents you from paying them so that work can continue? If you don't do so, this is what will be the outcome. And knowing very well that elections are around the corner, if they don't get what is due them now, when are they going to get it? So I understand them perfectly. So government must wake up, do what is necessary so that the tertiary institutions can commence academic work. We have been praying that the academic calendar should be restored. And now that the universities are doing their best to restore it, government is not putting in the measures that will help the tertiary institutions to streamline the academic calendar from this year. So it's rather unfortunate, and I think the ball lies in the court of government, especially the Ministry of Finance, to make money available for these arrears and allowances to be paid to the various unions that are agitating for it.
Honorable Notchu Kotoi, as a ranking member on the select committee, has your committee called some of these labor unions to the table to have a conversation with them, especially as MPs, you represent the people of Ghana in Parliament. Have you called them to have certain conversations with them?
As a committee, we have lost the moral courage to engage these unions any longer. You remember the SICAC strike. You remember that of the minister. We had to campaign, spoke with these lecturers of the various universities. That is a University of Ghana, UTAG, and then SICAC, and then that of the SICAC University. They listen to us, they listen to other people, and they return to the lecture hall, only for government to fail to honor their obligations. So when we call teacher unions or various unions again now, they tell us, you have done this, the people listening to you, government they are part of the agreement. What is the guarantee that if we listen to you now and we go back, government will honor the agreement? So we are having a very tough time now to go and talk to anybody or any union that, oh, listen to us, go back, government will do ABC. We are tired of government foot dragging as far as the welfare or the conditions of service of these union members are concerned. So for me, I don't think the committee will be in any better position now to call any union that, oh, we plead with you, go back to work. Because when we do that, government disappoints us. And I don't think we'll have the moral courage to do that again.
Honorable, won't that look like you are giving up? Your committee has been set up so that you can advocate or push what education has to be in the country. If you say that you have lost the moral rights, we might maybe understand you from where you are coming from, but won't that also make it look like this to the Ghanaian people that your committee has given up in the quest to do the work that you're mandated to do?
We have not given up, but if you have a responsible government that will listen to the plight of people, you intercede on behalf of government, and government does what is needed, what has to be done, then you also be happy that, so my efforts have yielded good results. But where your efforts are not being given the necessary attention, you cannot go on doing that as if you don't have anything to do. You also to be begging unions to go back to work when they go on strike. We have spoken several times, and I don't think, for me, maybe as an individual, we don't have that moral obligation to asking any union that is on strike now to go back to work. They'll ask you, when ABCD unions went, they listen to you. What did government do? And how do you answer that question?
Well, if you do not have the moral right to call the teacher unions to come, at least you do in the sense of calling the Ministry of Education to come so that you can speak with them, question them on why some of these things are happening.
You see, the Ministry of Education must also get money from the Ministry of Finance. When the tax matter came up, we tried as much as possible to bring the Ministries of Education and Finance together. It didn't work. They were just playing some games with their committee. The day we were to meet them, the minister called that, they were going to meet the unions. And I don't know what happened. It took some time before they decided went back to the lecture hall. And I don't know if we can continue that way. It will not help the nation. So the government is there. They have the faith. They have the power. They should know what is expected of them so that we don't get the academic calendar distorted. Because if this happens now, it's going to take a long time for it to be restored to normalcy again. And that is not good for academic work at the tertiary level.
As a ranking member on education, what are the long-term solutions in exploring? We can explore to prevent some of these labor unrest, especially in the education sector, because it is becoming one too many. We spoke with the SRC of the Accra College of Education some time ago, not too long ago, and they said that we spoke with one of the executives who is in level 400 and said that since he came to school, he realized that in the second semester of every academic year, CETA goes on strike. So it means that something has not been done. As a ranking member on education, what are some of the avenues we can look at so that we can clear this out of our system once and for all?
It is all about money. And once government is not releasing money to fulfill the obligations that are before it, these things will continue. If money is released today to pay the arrears of allowance, to restore whatever allowances there are for the unions, I think they will go back to work immediately. So for me, there's no solution now than the release of funds by government to the Ministry of Education or to the tertiary institutions that are affected so that they can pay their allowances due to their staff, and then work will continue. I am told some other unions are getting ready to join the other unions that are on strike already. And it's going to paralyze tertiary education in the country in the coming days, maybe from next week. And if all the tertiary institutions are closed down, what are we going to do? What are we achieving? So for me, it is the job of the ministers for education, finance, and employment to come together and solve this problem without delay.
Before you go, sir, is there a policy framework in place to guide government's response to labor unrest? My apologies. Is there a policy framework in place to guide government's response to labor unrest in the education sector?
Well, there are several policies that have been implemented by the Ministry of Education, and they are very similar in many ways. But the policy alone, without its proper implementation, will not solve the problem. So the policies are there, but the implementation, proper implementation, is not there. And that's why we are facing all these challenges. So the policies must be backed by financial commitment, and that will solve all these problems. So for me, the policies are there, but how effective are they implementing the policy? That is the question we have to answer as a nation.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Thank you for speaking with us this morning.
Thank you, and have a good week.
Have a good day too, sir. Honorable Peter Nochukotwe is a ranking member on the Education Committee in Parliament. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Attention business owners, it's time to take your business to the next level with ABC News GH Television's mega promo. From August 1st to October 31st, 2024, we're offering you unbeatable deals to advertise your products and services. Don't miss out on this amazing chance to reach more people and grow your brand. For more details, give us a call on 050-993-0360. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Follow us on social media at ABC News GH_.
ABC in the morning on ABC News GH. We are on the front story. We just spoke with Honorable Peter Notchu-Kotoi, who is a ranking member on education, on the education committee. He has said that government should look at paying these labor unions what they need so that academic work or the academic calendar is not disrupted. At the moment, CTAG is on strike, TEWU on strike, the Senior Staff Association of Universities of Ghana on strike. So some of the schools have had to postpone the reopening of school. The academic calendar is on hold at the moment. University of Ghana, the University of Development Studies, and UNIMAC. At the moment, KNUST, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, is not on strike. This is because they have not made a decision yet, because their academic calendar starts in January. So maybe by the time we get to January, some decisions may have been taken to mitigate this so that the strike is called off. But at the moment, they have not taken a decision yet. Same with UCC. UCC has not announced that the academic calendar is changing. So these are some of the developments coming up from the various strikes, from the various labor unions, especially in the education sector. CTAG, who has been on strike since June, they resumed but have gone back on strike because some of their demands have not been met by government. So this is what we have done on Front Story today, looking at government's position on the various strikes by the various labor unions. As the days go by, we are hoping that better news will come out of all of these so that there can be a way forward, so that students are not left hanging. They won't stay home for too long because the academic calendar has not begun. So that is all for Front Story. Thank you. But let us move on away from First Story into trends. What is trending and sports? Godwin is on standby. Up next is Trends.
to ABC News trends and sports that I am bringing you, and I am Godwin Opoku-Ochre. So today, the trends that we have, we are taking the trends from X, formerly known as Twitter. And on X, our 4 main trends that we have is the Electoral Commission. It sits on top of the trends, followed by 3rd October, and also pregnant is 3rd on the trends, and also we have Katanga. Katanga is a hall in KUST. They are also trending. They were in the trends yesterday, and today they are still featuring in the trends. So first of all, we will go through the reason why the Electoral Commission of Ghana is trending. Basically, the EC is trending because yesterday the Electoral Commission of Ghana released a press that was denying, or should I say, they didn't agree to the NDC's petition made to the Electoral Commission to allow for a forensic audit of the voters' register. And they came with a long statement, about 9 pages, that they posted on the official Twitter handle. And under the comment section, we have Alpha Arsenal. He is saying, the issues raised by the NDC are not ones you can go and do. Are not ones you can go and do. I have transferred them back. Your IT system security protocols have been compromised. Illegal transfer of voters is novel in Ghana's politics. Your long thesis does not restore confidence. Forensic audit and free citizens hashtags. We also have free citizens hashtag. That one is an account. He is saying this makes sense though. The EC says it is premature to ask for forensic audit, so I guess the NDC should wait for the final register before they do so. All we want is free, fair, and transparent elections. And Berima Kwame Frimpong is also saying it's lengthy, but worth knowing the processes the EC go through. I was skeptical, but if what is on the letter is followed, we can have a good register for the upcoming elections. Hashtag Ghana First. And that is the reason why the EC is trending, because a lot of people are also asking questions. Some are also agreeing with the EC. And that brings out the whole confusion surrounding the electoral register. And we are moving on to the reason why 3rd October is trending. So 3rd October is trending because activists and students from KNUST, that is Katanga Hall, are planning a demonstration that they would embark on. And other people also, other groups in Ghana are planning to embark on a demo surrounding Free the citizens that had a 3-day demonstration over the weekend that have been arraigned before court for prosecution. And Olele DTS, that is Olele Salvador, he is saying a group of activists are organizing a 3-day Free the Citizens demonstration in Accra for October 3rd to 5th, 2024, to demand the release of detained protesters and raise awareness about Galamsey. The protesters will gather at Okponglo and march to Shiashi. And we have Rexford K. Amache saying, good cause within their right, but the police must remain resolute to deal with anyone whose conduct would contravene the agreed modalities and the law, nonetheless, with a hashtag Stop Galamsey Now. And that is the end of the trends for Free the Citizen. Now let's move on to why the pregnant is trending. So Ghana Police yesterday released a statement saying the pregnant woman that was allegedly arrested as part of demonstrators which people claimed she was not part of the demonstrators but a bystander, is not pregnant based on tests that they have had, 2 independent tests. And people went to the comment section. So we have Mr. T.I. saying, whoever is reading this, know that the police is lying in most of the points they just stated. This has been their tactic under this government. And we have the mayor. He is Kasua Mayor, sorry. He is saying, if these statements are true, then it's quite disappointing how people would deliberately spread falsehood to denigrate the work of the police. Who started the pregnancy rumors? That's a question that he is asking. And we have the African or black question. He is also saying, for the sake of transparency, can the police release information as to A, why its press conference was cancelled, and B, why it did not respond to demonstrators' leadership's request for a meeting with the police? And that is that from the pregnant woman's side. They have been remanded for 2 weeks and they will reappear before court after the due time. And the last trend that we have, Katanga. So just like I mentioned earlier, Katanga was trending yesterday by a release that they said they are embarking on a demonstration on the 3rd to 5th October to call for free the citizens and also say no to Galamsey. And with this one, official handle of Katanga Fellow, it is saying, fellows, distance ourselves from our self-centered and politically tainted alumni association. We are Ghanaians first. So yesterday I mentioned that they says some of their alumni, some senior members of the alumni are kicking against them embarking on a nationwide demo by busing their people across the 16 regions to come and demonstrate in Accra. And they are saying they dissociate themselves from that alumni and they are embarking on their own demo. And here we have Lionel Godet. He is saying someone must lead the charge and the change. It takes just one group who would put the country and themselves as citizens first, who wouldn't heed to any threats or bribes. Katanga, you will go down in history if you do this. As a continental, I give my respect. Ghana needs us. So he is from Kunti Unity Hall, and he is saying he supports what Katanga is embarking on, and he gives his respects to them. So that brings us to the end of trends for today. Now let's look at sports, what we have for sports today. As we are heading into the weekend, and Ghana Premier League is not an exception. It will feature over the weekend across the country from our 8 league centers. So on Saturday, Accra Lions will welcome Nsuatriman FC at the University of Ghana Stadium in Legon. Accra Lions Football Club has unveiled a new fan-friendly policy offering free entry to women and children under 15 for all home matches in Ghana Premier League. So we will see if they will offer them a boost to win this encounter. Also on Sunday, House of Folk are on the road to Abrankese, Kumasi, to face Nations FC at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. Nations FC have played House of Folk once at home in the league after gaining promotion into the Premier League last season, as they shared the spoils in that encounter in a 1-1 draw. Rekum Chelsea welcomes Asante Kotoko to the Golden City on Sunday. Chelsea are currently 7th on the league table with 4 points and are yet to concede a goal since the start of the season. Asante Kotoko have accumulated 4 points from their opening 2 league matches, having won 1 and drawn 1. Kotoko has an outstanding game to play in match week 2 against Nsuatriman FC. Berekum Chelsea have played Asante Kotoko 4 times at home in the league since 2020-21 season, with Berekum Chelsea winning 2 and drawing 2. So Chelsea have never lost a game at their home stadium against Asante Kotoko. Dreams FC traveled to Nana Fosu Park to face Bechem United. Bechem United have played Dreams 4 times at home in the league since the 2020-21 season. Bechem United have won 3 and drawn 1, so they have also not lost a game against Dreams FC at home. Mediama also traveled to CAM Park in Ainase to battle Basake Holy Stars. That's a newly promoted side. Holy Stars have recorded 1 win, 1 draw and suffered 1 defeat in their opening 3 matches in their debut campaign. 2 wins and 2 clean sheets have seen Mediama sitting pretty second in the league table prior to this fixture. Mediama has 1 outstanding game for the match week 3 against reigning champions FC Samates 1996. Young Apostles FC will face Adriana FC at the Wenchi Sports Stadium. Young Apostles are currently 14th on the table with 2 points, having scored 1 and conceded 3. Adriana FC have recorded 2 draws and suffered a defeat in their 3 matches. Heart of Lions host Gold Star FC at the Pando Sports Stadium. Lions remain unbeaten after 3 league games with 1 win and 2 draws. They have conceded 3 goals and scored 5 and are currently 3rd on the league table. Gold Stars are currently top of the table with 6 points, having scored 3 goals and conceded 1 goal. Bibiani Gold Stars have 1 outstanding game to play in match week 2 against FC Samates 1996. And also we have Legon Cities FC taking on Karela FC at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium on Sunday. So the 2 are part of 8 Premier League sides yet to record a victory this season. Karela FC have conceded 3 goals and scored 1 goal and are currently 17th on the table, just behind Legon Cities, who is 16th on the table. And the last game that we have for the preview is FC Samates 1996. They will entertain the newcomers Vision FC at Samaboy Stadium. The defending champions have 2 outstanding games to play in match week 2 and 3 against Bibiani Gold Stars and Mediama Sporting Club. Vision FC remain the only newly promoted side yet to taste a defeat and sit 4th on the league table with 5 points, having scored 3 and conceded 1 so far in the league. So that is a preview of the league games that we have over the weekend. That is 1 game on Saturday and the other 7 on Sunday. And we will bring our viewers and followers all the updates they need to know after the matches have taken place. And that brings us to the end of sports and trends for today on ABC in the morning. I am Godwin Opoku-Ochre. I'll hand over to studio to take it from there.
Well, thank you, Godwin. Godwin has brought us the latest in the trends and sports, what we should know, especially going into the weekend. So for those of you who are sports enthusiasts, you know where your attention should be as we get into the weekends. But away from trends and sports, Andy is on hand to give us tech trick, what we need to know in the tech space, how we should take care of our tech devices and gadgets. So Andy is on standby with Tech Trick. Let's go for Tech Trick.
You can advertise your brand or business on ABC News GH Television. Call us on 030-278-8645 or 050-993-0360 to secure your slot.
Attention business owners, it's time to take your business to the next level with ABC News GH Television's mega promo. From August 1st to October 31st, 2024, we're offering you unbeatable deals to advertise your products and services. Don't miss out on this amazing chance to reach more people and grow your brand. For more details, give us a call on 050-993-0360. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Follow us on social media at ABC News GH_.
Someone approached me and said that his account got hacked. And I remember when I created my Facebook account some 5 or 7 years ago, some 1 year later, the account also got hacked. You're welcome to ABC in the Morning right here on ABC News GH. And right on Tech Trick, we'll be giving you some tips or essential tips to protect yourself from online scams and phishing. So that's what exactly we'll be doing. The first one, we are looking at verify authenticity. Verifying authenticity is very important in making sure that you are not hacked by scammers who are online to be able to hack your account. And when you verify authenticity, it's also required that you check sender and address for spelling mistakes. Some of these scammers or scams online do not really take importance with making sure that they are the things they write in terms of sending you email are structured rightly as a company would do. So they tend to write in a normal way, but there are a little bit of mistakes in it where you could fish them out. So when you see these mistakes, you could see that this thing is from an online scam. So on the first or the step one, that's verifying authenticity, you have to also look for legitimate logos and branding. When you get email from someone telling you your Facebook account is supposed to be this, so you should send your email or your password to this email, you should first check the logo, whether it's legitimate, and the branding as well. It is not every company that will send you something that you should send your password to it. And then the second one too is a research password and companies before interacting with them. Yeah, so on the step one, verifying authenticity. So when you come across password or you come across websites, you should research how quality, or if this website from this particular company is legit. You shouldn't just jump on the website to be able to get information because you are required to or you are asked to. So the first step we are giving you in making sure that you are protecting yourself from online scams and phishing is to make sure that you verify authenticity. The second one is be cautious with links and downloads. The second step is that you have to be very cautious with links and downloads. Hover over links to check the URL, that's Uniform Research Locator. And then you also have to avoid suspicious or shortened links. You know how links look, even if you are not technologically inclined. You know when you come across a link, or if there's a link, you know this is a legit link or a correct URL that you can use. So when you come across a shortened link, you should be able to remind yourself that this is not a legit link that you can use. And then never download attachment from unknown sources. Do not download things from places that you know this place or this where you are downloading the things from is not well appropriate. So you should make sure that anytime you download things or you are getting information from anywhere, make sure they are known sources where you are getting information from, but not just anywhere. So the second step is be cautious with links and downloads. And then the third step is secure your account. And in securing your account, you are required to use strong password and unique password. The last time we did Tech Trick, we learned here on Tech Trick on ABC in the morning that you should enable two-factor authentication, that's 2FA. And in enabling two-factor authentication is just another layer, a second layer or a second protection you are giving to your account. So the first step is that you need to have your normal account and then get a password, and the password should be strong and unique. And then the second stage is that you have to enable the two-factor authentication. This is where you protect or you come across a second layer or a second protector to the password. It can be through your email or your number. So when you key in your, let's talk about you are logging into your Facebook account, you will be required to give your first email or your first password. When you give your first password, they will ask you again that the two-factor authentication you have enabled, you should be able to give a code. So whether you provided your email address or your number, a code will be sent to you to be able to log into it. So you make sure to do that. And then still on the secure your account is monitor account activity regularly. So the third step is that secure your account. The fourth step we are looking at is that watch out for red flags. Watching out for red flags is very important, and it is also a tool that you can use to protect yourself from online scams. So urgent or threatening languages. No company or anything that you need to do to protect either your Facebook account or any of your social media account will use a threatening word to you. So there is a certain tone that they'll use, and then generic greetings. The example is dear customer. When they are sending message, they want to send a bulky message to a lot of people. So you also watch out for these things. And then request for sensitive information. Example is your password, credit, and then numbers. So the fourth step is that watch out for red flags. The fifth step, you have to stay informed and updated. Keep software, browsers, and OS, that is the operating system. You need to keep your machine on to update them. You also need to use reputable antivirus software. If you are using a laptop, you should be mindful to use a reputable antivirus software which will protect your machine. And if you're also using a smartphone, make sure to update your phone from time to time to be able to be informed and then updated. And then follow cybersecurity news and alerts. Following cybersecurity news and alerts is also another instrument you can use to protect yourself from online scams. This one helps you strictly to be able to know the tricks people use to be able to not get harmed or get scammed from anybody. So right here on Tech Trick on ABC in the morning, that's what we brought you. We brought you some essential steps to protect yourself from scams and phishing. So let's meet some other time. Abena, over to you.
Well, indeed, some essential steps to take care of our devices so that people do not scam us. It's very necessary. Like you said, you create your password and then somebody gets into your phone, gets into the app that you are on, and the next thing you know, you do not have control over it anymore. I have put down a few things. Andy says, verify authenticity. Very necessary to know where it is coming from and how authentic it is. Also, be cautious with links. If the link hasn't loaded, don't tap on it. Somebody shares a link and it just comes with that small URL. You can't really see what is in it. It's not loaded fully. I think you shouldn't tap on it. Or you don't trust the person sending it. Just don't enter into it at all. And also secure your account by enabling two-factor authenticity. Very, very necessary. Andy, thank you for bringing us Tech Trick. You have taught us something new today too, and during the weekend we'll make sure that if we will not do anything at all, we'll enable two-factor on our various devices. Thank you, Andy.
Welcome.
Also, Andy brought us Tech Trick on ABC in the morning. Before we go into the next segment, let's look at what is on the various news portals. Let's see what the various news portals are reporting. And on ABC News, let's just read from abcnewsgh.com, and you should be following us. You will see that ABC is reporting that Afenyo-Markin dismisses calls for ECG board dissolution. And Kofi Akpaloo says he is not Esau to swap his position with the NPP. These are some of the news on the various portals. We will be looking at various news portals as it goes on. But Business Fix is up next. Stay with us. You're welcome to Business Fix on ABC in the morning. Bank of Ghana is in a monetary policy meeting. So their MPC, Monetary Policy Committee, is in a meeting and will be waiting for all of the decisions they will make out of that meeting. And to understand some of the things that's happening when they go for these meetings, some of the decisions they take, which affects us as a people, which affects the things that happen in our financial sector. Professor Patrick Esuming, who is an economist and a lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, joins us over the phone. Good morning, sir.
Thank you, and good morning to you.
Thank you for joining us this morning on ABC in the morning, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. The Monetary Policy Committee maintained the policy rates the last time they went for a meeting. When we look at the current circumstances in the country at the moment, and we look at the current GDP and look at the depreciation of the cedi, what do you think the Bank of Ghana will do? What are some of the things they will be adopting going into the rest of the year and into next year? Hello, Prof. Esumeh. Hello, sir.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, Prof. Prof, did you hear my question?
I did hear your question. Yes.
Okay. So when you look at the GDP, you look at the currency, you look at how the cedi is faring at the moment, the Bank of Ghana has gone into a meeting on the monetary policy. The Monetary Policy Committee has gone into a meeting. When you look at all of these factors that are affecting us as a people and as a country, what are some of the strategies you believe the Bank of Ghana should adopt going into the meeting and then coming back to brief the nation?
For the Bank of Ghana, the MPC is able to do the monetary policy rate. They are using.
Prof, kindly position yourself better than you have, because we are finding it difficult to hear you as your line keeps breaking. We've lost Prof, but we will do well to establish contact with him. Like I was saying earlier, the Bank of Ghana Monetary Policy Committee have gone into their meeting. This is nothing new to the Bank of Ghana Monetary Policy Committee, and when they go, they will do well to bring certain frameworks that will govern the financial sector or the whole sector as it were. So we are looking at what some of these strategies could be and what they could adopt to better improve the financial health of the country. So we are speaking with Professor Patrick Esumeh, who is an economist and a lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School. You are welcome back, Prof.
Thank you. Apologies that the line dropped off. So I was explaining that generally when the BOG MPC is deciding what to do with the policy rate, they are weighing two risks: the risk to growth and risk to price stability, that is inflation. If he makes an assessment that there's a higher risk to growth and the price stability is relatively low, concerns about stability is relatively low, it tends to reduce the policy rate. On the other hand, if they feel that inflation expectations are elevated or there are greater upside risk to inflation, then they tend to raise the policy rate. Now, if you look at the recent development within the economy, well, we've seen inflation has been trending down and growth has also been rising. Growth has been stronger than expected. Now, but we have to note that even though inflation is trending down, it's still way higher than our medium-term target rate. The medium-term target is 6% to 10% inflation. We are currently almost at doing around 20.4 or so. That means we are still high. Now, the other development has to do with the currency. You know, the currency has been very unstable in the last 3 months or so. And I think earlier in the week, the Federal Reserve of the U.S., the U.S. Central Bank, decided to cut interest rates. Ordinarily, when the Federal Reserve cuts interest rates, it gives more room for the Bank of Ghana to also cut its rate. But when you look at the level of uncertainty within the economy and the fact that inflation remains stubbornly high, I do expect that they will keep the policy rate the same, or they will maintain it as they did at the last meeting.
Okay, you think you are expecting that they will keep it or maintain it at the last meeting. But Prof, will that bode well for us as a people?
Well, I think if the growth projection, if the growth trajectory of the economy was weaker, then you expect that maybe they might decide to cut it any further. But even without further cuts in the policy rate, we've seen that the growth has been stronger than expected. So, and at the same time, price stability is an issue. Inflation continues to be extremely high, stubbornly high. And this week the IMF in town, we know that their position on the policy rate is clear. They feel that the central bank should keep monetary policy tight. And now that the economy appears to be doing better than expected, I really expect that they will keep the rate high, the rate as it is, even though many businesses will be clamoring that interest rates in the country are high. So it will be time for the central bank to cut the policy rate. I feel it will be too early for them to cut the policy rate.
But Prof, what should be the fiscal policy measures they should adopt after today's meeting?
Well, the fiscal policy measures doesn't come from the central bank. It doesn't come from the Monetary Policy Committee. That is from the central government, the finance ministry. So, however, they usually look at what is happening on the fiscal side. That is what the fiscal health of the economy is looking at when they are taking decision about the monetary side. I think that largely, if you look at the data we've seen, it appears that in the first half of the year, the government has stuck with its fiscal plans. So there are no immediate threats of fiscal slippages for the monetary policy to try and step in to address that. So all of these point to a sign that perhaps the policy rate should be kept the same.
Prof, finally, before you go, we are entering into the Christmas. We've spoken with various groups, and they mentioned that Bank of Ghana does not consult with them before coming out with certain decisions that they should have consulted with them on. In doing their work better, apart from these consultations, what can the Bank of Ghana adopt so that they also make the lives of Ghanaians easier?
Well, I think the point about the Bank of Ghana having to consult groups and businesses, I'm not sure that that's the practice anyway, even though they will follow business sentiment. So in some sense, the Bank of Ghana conducts business sentiment survey. In some sense, that is an input into their decision they make. So when you read press releases, you notice that they give way to what businesses are doing, because they have a business sentiment survey where they speak to businesses and get the sense about their projections and how they are feeling about the economy. And all of those factor into the decision making. But to say we are bringing business groups around the table to make the decision about how monetary policy is done, I don't think that is how it should be. I think going forward, well, what Ghanaians have to reflect on is whether the inflation targeting regime that we've been using for the past 2 decades or more, whether that's the way we want to keep going. I think many people, including many academics, are of the view that the inflation targeting regime hasn't really worked well for us. So it's time for us to revise it. And then also we need to think about long-term or medium-term inflation target, whether 6 to 10% is really stable enough. And I think in time past, there's been discussions about moving it further down, because many of our peers, well, currently Nigeria is an exception, but many of our peers keep inflation way lower in the lower single digits, rather than the upper single digits that we keep. But that is the kind of discussion that requires a broader consensus among the business community, academics, and the BOG.
So I know I said finally before you go, but this is finally. Under the IMF program, we're supposed to keep our debt to GDP low. Unfortunately, our debt to GDP keeps increasing and increasing. Although this is not under the Bank of Ghana, but what can the Monetary Policy Committee do to check government spending so that we mitigate some of these occurrences?
Unfortunately, I don't think there's much that the MPC can do when it comes to how government spends. What they can do is to refuse to finance the government when they don't have the funds to spend. So if the government wants to spend money, they don't, and they've exhausted all the revenue, sometimes they might call on the BOG, as happened in 2022 and some part of 2023. So what they can do is that they can insist that no, we are not going to finance the government. But as for drawing up expenditures and revenues collection, the central bank and the monetary policy really has no role, and they don't have the power to be able restrict what government does. But, it can advise, because the two, monetary policy and fiscal policy, have to work in tandem to be effective. But to say that, it's going to restrict government spending, I don't think that's going to happen.
Professor Patrick Esuming is an economist and a lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School. He's had a discussion with us, helped us understand the Monetary Policy Committee's meeting and what could come out of it. He's expecting that the policy rate is maintained, because so far it's been okay so far. So he's expecting that it is maintained and then things get better in the economy as we see it. This is Business Fix, and this is all for it today. Stay with us.
Attention business owners, it's time to take your business to the next level with ABC News GH Television's mega promo. From August 1st to October 31st, 2024, we're offering you unbeatable deals to advertise your products and services. Don't miss out on this amazing chance to reach more people and grow your brand. For more details, give us a call on 050-993-0360. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Follow us on social media at ABC News GH _.
listeners, you're still watching ABC in the morning. We are moving straight into our main discussion for the day. If you followed the news yesterday, the Electoral Commission has responded to the NDC. What is this response? What is captured in the response to the NDC, and how is the NDC accepting the response from the Electoral Commission? This is the main discussion on ABC in the morning. We'll be back. So the Electoral Commission has responded to the NDC. What is this response? This response comes after the NDC staged a nationwide protest. They called it Enough is Enough. And they were calling for a forensic audit of the Provisional Voters Register. They argued that they established legal and administrative processes for addressing concerns with the NDC established that the Voters Register had certain discrepancies. And so the EC should allow for a forensic audit. The EC, in responding to the NDC, says that the NDC has not exhausted all of the legal and administrative avenues for looking at the voters register. So they should not call for an audit of the register. So the EC has made a stance. They have dismissed the NDC's request because the NDC's request is not justified. So it is outlined in a 9-page letter that the Electoral Commission addressed to the NDC chairman, Johnson Esiedun Kitia. Let's take a look at the excerpts from this address to the NDC from the Electoral Commission. So excerpts of letter to the NDC. The Electoral Commission says that they certainly do not require any external assistance in their line of work. And they also say that there is an existence of legal and administrative processes to be followed from registration till final voter register is produced. Registration of voters, adjudication process, exhibition of provisional voters register to allow for inspection and correction of discrepancies, sittings of district registration review officers to hear and rule on cases including objections, review and authentication of provisional register by the district registration review officers, implementation of the officer's decision by district officers, verification of implementation of the review officer's decision by the regional directorate, verification of implementation of the review officer's decision by selected IT staff, printing of the final voters register, these are the processes that should be followed. And the EC says that as they speak, their district officers are implementing the decisions and recommendations of the district registration review officers. So at the moment, they are on the implementation part. So they are left with the verification of implementation, verification by selected IT staff, and the printing of the voters register. They are left some 3 steps before the processes can be exhausted. This is from the Electoral Commission, and they sent this to the NDC in response to what the NDC said. These are some of the specific responses to the reliefs the NDC was seeking. The EC says that with regards to discrepancies in the voter transfer, the NDC indicated some 243,540 voters who were transferred illegally in the provisional voters register, and said that the NDC alleged that the said transfers were without the participation of the voters. The Electoral Commission wishes to state that the transfers were legal. Electoral Commission says that the transfer of those 243,540 voters were legal transfers, as opposed to what the NDC was saying about it being illegal. The Electoral Commission is also saying that in response to the unidentifiable and missing voter data, they wish to state categorically that the alleged missing voters have not been deleted. They are either on the voters register or on one of the following lists: exceptions list, multiples list, or transfers list. So those missing voter data are on one of 3: exceptions, multiples, or transfers list. This is their response to the NDC's relief on that. And EC's response to corrupt and incomplete voter data, this is what the EC says. The Electoral Commission says this did not occur in the production of the provisional voters register. However, it was detected and the affected registers were promptly regenerated during the exhibition. So they are answering the NDC that this has been taken care of. To integrity of the IT system, this is what EC says. EC says that it is confident in the security of its IT system. It is confident in the security of its IT systems and says that their IT system has an audit trail that tracks all entries and modifications irrespective of how minute they are. It employs both physical and electronic access control policies which utilize either passwords or biometrics or both. Some of the responses to the NDC from the EC. We'll be speaking with Dr. Rashid Tanko, who is the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC. We spoke with him yesterday about what they were going to do if the EC didn't respond. Today, the EC has responded, so we'll be speaking with him to know what NDC steps are following the response from the Electoral Commission. We also have joining us Martin Pebu, who is a private legal practitioner. Sometime last week, we spoke with him concerning this voters register. He had a lot to say about it. Today, the EC has responded to the NDC, so we want to know what he also has to say about it again. Martin Pebu, you are welcome to ABC in the morning. Thank you for joining us, sir. Good morning. Please unmute yourself so that we can speak with you. Please unmute your microphone.
Yes, good morning. Morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay, great.
Sometime last week, we came to you about the EC, the work of the EC, especially with regards to this audit. You had a lot to say about it. Today, the Electoral Commission has responded to the various demands of the NDC. What do you say? What do you have to say about it this time?
Well, I don't. When I say various demands, so let me be careful that we're on the same page. What I saw is that they say EC will do a virtual, we do an exhibition. Then it turns out that the exhibition is going to be virtual. Is that that's the one? That's the last communication I saw. Prior to that, the EC had written a letter where they sought to discount the NDC's concerns. So in terms of what I have read, the latest communication is the one they are proposing to do a virtual exhibition. So are we on the same page?
We are on the same page, but I want us to take the letter to the NDC from the EC where they responded to some of the reliefs the NDC was seeking on the voters register. The EC said that the NDC has not exhausted all available avenues to be asking for an independent audit into the voters register, and said that some 243,540 voter transfers that the NDC said was illegal, the Electoral Commission says that indeed from their end they are all legal transfers that were effected. The EC also says that for those voter data that the NDC says cannot be found, the EC said that they are either in 3 of these lists: exceptions list, multiples list, yes, the exceptions list, the multiples list, or the transfer list. And the NDC, the EC also said that it is very confident in its IT department so that they can handle everything that they need to handle. They don't have to bring in a third party. So it comes back to my question that NDC made some claims. They needed something from the Electoral Commission. And because of that, they sent a petition to the Electoral Commission. In responding to the NDC, the Electoral Commission has stated categorically their responses to the NDC, and some of those responses are what I have read to you. And I'm asking, since we spoke last week, we are speaking again this week, what do you have to say to these responses that the EC has given the NDC, a 9-page response?
So the first thing is that, you see, let's do this before we go into the specifics. Okay, look at the total picture first, then before we go into the specifics. So the total picture is one in which the EC admitted that there were 38 illegal transfers from Tamale to Pusiga. 2, the EC admitted that 243,000, right, on the transfer list were added from the 2020 register. So the EC admitted this. Then there's a third admission, right? So the total picture is that once these errors happened, and also you add that to the election 2020 where the EC got basic arithmetic wrong, okay? They had to change the results like 6 times, all on the promptings of the NDC, all right? And then also you add the other side of Peter Apiahene being on the EC when Kudeo itself has written that President Kufuor should revoke the appointment. And then we'll go on and on and on. And then this guy, Dr. Ofori AJ, and then Kwachi Amfu Kwachi's son. Amfu Kwachi, that's a man who was convicted of narcotics and was made aide to President Kufuor, his son being hired as a Yao Kwachi, right? As ET consultant, etc. So all of this have created a picture of lack of credibility on the part of the EC. These things can't go away because you have Peter Apiahene, you see his profile representing the MPP. He cannot run away. He was the communications team, he was part of the communications team of the EC, etc. So when you add all of it, these are verifiable things. So they've created a lack of credibility on the part of the EC. So no matter how the EC comes to answer these things, that lack of credibility cannot go away as long as Peter Apiahene is on the EC, Dr. Ofori AJ, MPP member, being in charge of the electoral register, Amfu Kwachi's son, Ekufuor's aide, the convicted man, being also there, You can't wash this away with saying that, oh, we have cleared this, you haven't given us data. No. Even assuming the NDC claims, assuming that admitted, right, were even false, because of these things, subject the register to a third-party audit that will give us proper assurances, like was done in Kenya and other countries, that Amfu Kwachi's son, right, will not go into the system and manipulate anything. That Dr. Oforiaje and his company, who are MPP, will not go into the system to do anything. So what the EC say is neither here nor there. I mean, to be honest,
it seems in your submission, it seems that you are more concerned with persons. This person is occupying this place. This person is occupying this place. However, in the NDC's request, they were not even about people occupying here or there. Theirs was about the register, specifics about the register. And in responding to those specifics, EC has responded directly to the specifics of the register. So I'm trying to establish the connect between the register, and I believe my viewers are doing same, and then those specific people, because the NDC didn't go for those people. They were more concerned about the register, the provisional register, what was captured, the names that were moved from one register to the other, from one constituency to the other, and wanted the forensic audits because they wanted the EC to take a look at those ones. But from your submission, what I am gleaning from it is that even after the EC has responded to that, so far as there were certain people in certain positions, it undermines everything. Is that it?
Absolutely. And it's also not exactly correct to say NDC is not concerned about those people. No, I've heard them, Sami Jemfi, I've heard Eduji Tamaklo.
Well, but it wasn't part of their petition. They had the opportunity to submit a petition, but they didn't add it.
Yes, so but it doesn't mean it's not part of their case. I've been on programs with Sami Jemfi on TV3's Saturday morning talk show program, The Key Point. Sami Jemfi raised it. He's raised it on Joy FM. Eduji raised it on TV3. Dr. Manibu Alma, they've raised them. So naturally, if you want to write everything, it will become like a thesis. So they raise them. So from everything, and also I told you that because the EC had earlier admitted to 3 of these charges, let's call them charges, the credibility and the trust is gone. So to be able to restore this to a certain extent, of course, it cannot be fully restored, but at least to bring it to an appreciable level, all right, the best thing the EC has to do is to open the register, open it up to scrutiny by a third-party independent expert. Also with NDC getting visibility, MPP getting visibility. Trust me, this thing is no-brainer. You know, the more the EC runs away from the independent audit, the more it tells you that, hey,
but there are processes to follow in this. The EC has said that NDC has not exhausted all of the processes. 2 days ago, the NPP went to court because they found some discrepancies in the voters register in the Menchia South. They followed the due process, they went to court, and because of that, court gave a ruling that the names or the persons who had been found in the Menchia South register be reverted to the original registers. How about NDC go through that process so that after exhausting the processes, if things are still bad or are not as NDC expects it, then they can call for the audit?
Good. Now, EC is blowing hot and cold. So now you tell me, how, so is EC saying that NDC should sue them, that they inadvertently added 243,000 names to the current
those
on the transferred list?
Those 243,000.
Didn't they admit it? They admitted. So now that they say they've corrected it, is NDC should sue them over it. If you say they've not exhausted, because you are using the voter transfer one as an example, and I'm saying yes. In all the categories, I mean, there are different categories. the matter of the 243,001, which is quite a huge figure, right? EC admitted that it was mistakenly added and that they have corrected it. And they are, if you are not happy, you are using the example of the Kumasi Menchia Saf case as an example that they went to court. Then the logic of the question is that, or the EC's logic is that, then NDC should sue them over this 243,000 example too. So where are we going?
Well, so but in EC's admission, the Electoral Commission said that the admission was to assure the NDC and the public that they themselves have the capacity to detect issues and resolve them. Beyond that, in their
admitted. So and if it's admitted, what's the need for going
beyond that admission? Beyond that, their admission was to assure the NDC and the public that EC was capable of finding discrepancies and working on them. Beyond that, the Electoral Commission, in writing to the NDC, addressing their letter to Johnson Esiedun Ketia, said that those names, or those 243,540 names that the NDC said had been illegally transferred, the Electoral Commission says that those transfers were legal. The Electoral Commission says those transfers were legal.
So why did they initially admit that it was illegal? Because this is an afterthought. For more than 1 month, the narrative, and the EC didn't deny it. The narrative, they had admitted. So, oh, no, Madam, I think you should go back into the tape and pull what Bosman Asari said. They had admitted that mistake. So why are you now, more than 1 month later, coming to say it's illegal? So, it's legal. So the more you even do this, then they are shifting. So you see, that's why I told you that before you go even into the specifics, when you look at the whole picture, it tells you too many issues. So because there are too many issues, there's a whole total sense of lack of credibility. So if there's this singular thing that can be done to quash all of the issues at once, you go for it. The Ranger Mensah know that when in 2015 she asked for an independent audit. Yes, so that when that is done, it quashes all of this. Please, let's get into the archives and pull out the earlier statements by Bosman Asari, where they admitted that the 243,000 was inadvertently added. So if about 1 month later you now come and say, oh no, it is right. So today you say this, tomorrow then you change your map. Today you say this, tomorrow you change your map. So all of that adds to the air of lack of credibility. That's why we said, so to assure, then do the independent audit. Don't run away from it. It's not as if it's NDC that's saying it is coming to audit the EC. They say let UNDP get the expert. So third party independent auditor. Wasn't that done in 2016 when Bawumia said there were 70,000 Togolese on the register? I think this is tiring. Maybe we are just encouraging.
Well,
I'm sure this is
you have said that you have issues with the people occupying the place. Now you are also advocating for the independent audit. If this independent audit is done, will you be satisfied, or you would still expect that the persons and positions at the Electoral Commission be removed?
So, one, I always insist that Appiah Ahene must go. Appiah Ahene must go. It's just too much. His record in the MPP is way too much. Then Dr. Fourier AJ must also go. Amfu Kwachi's son, Yao Kwachi, yes, must also go. These three minimum must go. As for Jim Mensah, I've said it ad nauseam, but obviously it doesn't look like that is practical at this stage. So you see that I'm being very practical. I know that I've told you that Jim Mensah is not the best person for the office, but I know that practically she's not likely to go. So I'll leave that for now. But after a new government comes in, we'll return to that matter, right? But for now, Codeo, I'm supporting Codeo. And the Codeo speaks for all of us, right? It's the #1 civil society organization on electoral matters. They speak for the whole of Ghana because the composition is made up of various civil society, the churches, chief imams, outfit, etc. Right? So they speak for us. So when they say something, let's keep amplifying it. We'll get results. Apia Hini must go. He's too MPP. And then the two other people, Dr. Fureji and then Anfo Kwachi's son, right? Yes, they must go. So even if the independent audit is done, still these three people should get out of the EC. Because we can't, I mean, you don't grow a democracy like that. You don't. That's my candid opinion. So it should have been practical.
Can any of the parties place an injunction on the December 7 polls if they believe that their concerns have not been addressed? Can they go to court to place an injunction on the polls?
Oh, as for applying, yes, you can apply, but the grant is another thing. So when you say, can somebody go to court, usually, yes, it's easy to go to court. The way our court system works is that no matter how weak your case, if you put it on paper, the right kind of papers, okay, and you want it to go into court, yeah, the doors are open. You go to the filing register, they look at it, then they make you pay. Once you pay, it will be filed. But what you are looking for, what you've written on the paper, you appear before the judge, and then it depends on the quality of your evidence. Right. So it's all about the quality of the evidence before the judge. And of course, there are other factors, how the courts are also influenced by how the citizens react, right? If it's very clear and the citizens come out being for justice to be done, it will be done. But where you have the citizens not being united and it's made NDC MPP, naturally MPP will have an upper hand. Yeah, but if it's something that citizens come around and see that this thing affects us and is very clear, very, very clear on the papers in the court and also in the media, a court is likely to rule for citizens. So quality of the evidence, but don't also rule out the role that citizens play in influencing the courts.
Well, the Electoral Commission says that it will exhibit the corrected Provisional Voters Register online. What do you think about that?
Online is well, that's a shift. At least people, number one, it represents a shift of some sort, because earlier on the Electoral Commission has said it will not be exhibited again. So to say they will exhibit it is a shift, but they've not shifted far enough. Look, they should just do the needful exhibition and also add the independent audit. It won't kill anybody. It rather shows strength. When you make a mistake, people point it out to you and you accept. It's a mark of strength, resilience, right? It's not, we all make mistakes. And that's how come, as an EC, they need stakeholders to be able to scrutinize and make suggestions, right? So it's good. I would say the EC is done the right thing by shifting a bit, but I would also say the shift is not sufficient. They should do a total shift, which is to also admit or accept the independent audit. Then it will be done, and then we'll all be home and dry, right? And the elections will be very credible.
Well, let me hold you there. I'll come back to you. But Dr. Rashid Tanko, who is... Please don't run. Please stay with us. Please don't run. Stay with us. Dr. Rashid Tanko is the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC. You are welcome, Doc.
Let me say good morning to your cherished viewers and to you yourself.
Well, Martin Pebo is also on the line having a discussion with us on the response from the EC to the NDC.
Let me say good morning to Council. Yes. Council people, good morning to you.
Yes, morning. Good to see you again.
So, Doc, I'll come back to you. I'll come for your response, because now we've gotten to the river. Yesterday you said we were on our way to the river. Now we are there. I'll come for your response. But Martin Pebo, you were on a tangent about the EC's decision to exhibit online. So please, as you were.
Yes. So the first point is that the exhibition online, it should be married with a manual exhibition, because not everybody can access the online exhibition. In a population where you still have lots of our citizens being illiterate, it's quite a hard sell. It's a hard sell to say it's only online. Yeah, sometimes, yes, some of these people who are illiterate in English, may have children, but the children are not with them. Some are in the cities. If you just look at it simply, when you're coming to make a policy or a decision, you look at the ease of compliance. Look at our literacy rates. Let's pull them out. The last statistical, the last census. Let's see the level of education. Illiteracy is still a huge challenge in Ghana. So when you say it's only online, then some people are going to be sort of disenfranchised from the exhibition process.
Well,
so
when it was face-to-face, certain people also did not get the opportunity to go and check for their names. The EC also says that the time frame is too little for another face-to-face. And if you look at the cost involved, it might be too exorbitant to be able to do that at the moment. So this could be a stopgap measure so that everyone can be able to check.
Well, I don't really see. We have how many months to go? They should sit down and negotiate with the parties. EC shouldn't take that decision alone. You see that it's good. You are talking about. You are talking to Dr. Computer here, Rashid Computer, right? You will see that if the EC negotiates, approaches the parties, they'll be able to find a middle ground. Yes, middle of the road. They'll be able to find a solution to it. If the EC hasn't consulted the stakeholders and the EC can't make that unilateral decision, we still have 70-something days to go. So I don't know why out of 70-something days, you cannot spend a week or at least 5 days doing the exhibition. So let them, look, EC should talk to the political parties, negotiate with them on this. EC alone doesn't have the knowledge. Jim Mensah is not an electoral expert. No. Serebo and Co, who are the experts, yeah, but they are human. They don't know it all. The parties also have their experts. So let them come together. EC is appearing not to be engaging enough. It's not good. Even before coming out of this decision, they should have met the parties and told them this is what we intend to do. Then get feedback from the parties. It's when you consult people on decisions you are about to take, it doesn't mean you are not independent. No, that's not it. I think this matter of the independence is being taken out of context. You are providing a service to some people. So even though you are independent, major decisions you want to take, you have to ask them. You have to ask them, tell them, let them know. They may give you some ideas which will help. That's what I have to say about that.
Let me come to you, Dr. Rashid Tanko. The EC has responded to you, a 9-page document, and says that some of the issues you raised have no basis. They have answered it. The 243,540 voters that you said had been illegally transferred, the EC says they were legally transferred. Dr. Tanko, we have gotten to that river where now the EC has responded. What is your response to the EC's letter to the NDC?
Well, we received their response yesterday, and we took time to study their response. And that shows how inconsistent the Electoral Commission is. It has even strengthened our position that this Electoral Commission needs serious investigation. This is an Electoral Commission that came out and told the whole world that we didn't provide them any evidence for them to work on, to identify the discrepancies. So they were waiting on us to bring our evidence and all that. Then, in their response to us, they cleverly accepted all our grievances, all the evidence we adduced during our meeting with them on the 6th of September, and went ahead to expressly stated that they corrected those discrepancies. So where did they get the evidence to correct those discrepancies? Take page 5 of their statement, the letter they wrote, page 5 of it. Discrepancies in the voters' register. They copiously refers to our discrepancies we have identified and gave reasons why those discrepancies occurred. And we're talking about the 243,000. We didn't say the 243,000 were illegally transferred. We said they were old transfers. We said these were old transfers that you have added from 2023 to this current register. That is what we told you. that by so doing, you have bloated the register by about 243,000 plus. And now you came in to now justify it that yes, you made a mistake. It was an error. Don't forget, in a sister station, their director of electoral services stated that they deliberately added these 243,000 in order to let us track the transfers history. We disputed them and told them that's not the case. You don't do that. In transfers, you don't add old transfers to new transfers just because you want people to see the path of transfers. And all. They don't do that. In that case, they were not. It would have walked into the realm of absurdity by bringing all the transfer from 1992 up to now. And so clearly, if you look at their page 5, now they've changed the deliberately adding to inadvertently included all transfers. That's the statement they've now changed it to. That they inadvertently included all transfers undertaken since 2020 to the current transfer. For what interest? For whose interest were they doing that? So which exhibition officer was going to identify this? You are talking of quantum of 243,000. Their statement, they've accepted it. They've agreed to it that yes, it's an error. And that they have corrected it. Listen to that. This has been corrected. So if we hadn't given them, where were they going to get the correction? If we hadn't showed them this, they're telling the whole world and media and their surrogate, the MPP, held a press conference lambasting us that we didn't have evidence. The EC was asking us for evidence, we didn't have it. Now today the EC is accepting that we did have evidence and they've worked on it. They didn't stop there. You see, this EC is doing firefighting and fishing. How are they doing the fishing? Anytime the NDC comes out with the issue, then they run after it. They go after that issue. They don't even do internal check to find out whether that issue is widespread or is just limited to the one the NDC is talking of. When we talk about the Pusiga episode in Tamale, having transferred illegal transfers in Tamale from the Tamale South, Sanaragu to Pusiga, 38 of them. The EC, instead of them to go back into their IT system, I said they have a useless IT department. Half of that IT department is completely useless. It's the worst IT department we've ever seen. Since 1992, this EC has been working all along. Didn't know that this one was just a teaser. You go to Tolong constituency, similar thing occurred. You go to German North in Ahafo region. They've transferred people from German North to Tyne. Similar thing happened. You will come to Volta region. Similar thing happened. Just yesterday, we uncovered similar transfers in Accra, just Accra here, of illegal transfers. And so when they come, this thing, then they wrote that we acknowledge our officer in Pusiga carry out 38 unauthorized transfers. As if that is the only transfers that unauthorized transfers occurred. It's like it's probably false. So technically, these people, they are just doing firefighting and fishing.
Dr. Tanko,
they are not serious.
Electoral Commission says that the NDC has not exhausted all the avenues for the addressing of this issue. They said you have not exhausted all of the avenues.
Which avenues are they referring to?
The avenues listed on their page, on page 4 of the response to
these
you.
Avenues, the avenues they refer to. Listen, dear, this Electoral Commission, let me describe them as confident tricksters. They are tricking you people. You will see that just take the whole 9 page. They are quoting copiously from CI 91, which has something to do with registration and exhibition. Transfers has nothing to do with CI 91. Council is here. You can defer that one to council. He will tell you that, look, you can't take one law to be using it to apply to another issue, which has nothing to do with that one. For instance, you are quoting from CI 91, which has to do with exhibition, exercise, and then registration, and how to correct data and all that. Where the nucleus of the problem is from the transfers. Transfers are in CI 127. In fact, under Regulation 22, that is where CI will talk about transfers. Why is it that in all their 9 pages, they craftily refuse to mention CI 127? They have something to hide there. You don't use CI 91 to correct transfers. No, it's not that. That's not it. There's no pathway in CI 91 in corrected transfers and in illegality, especially the illegal transfers they have done. You can't find any traces of it in CI 91. So why is it that they continue quoting from CI91, and telling us that there are mechanisms to use to correct this? When you do illegal transfers to manipulate the data, you don't use CI91 to correct that one. That is the ingenuity or part of the Electoral Commission. Well, they are tricking you people. They are tricking, and they can't trick NDC. We are smarter than them. We have our lawyers. We are also studying the CIs, and we know which path to go.
Dr. Tanko, so what is the next step? What is the next step forward? You said that when we get to the river, we would cross it. Now we are at this river. The EC has responded. You are still not satisfied with the response, and you have called the Electoral Commission confidence tricksters. So what is the next step?
If you see what they have written,
what's the next step for the NDC?
Very well. Some of the issues border on policy, and then we are waiting on FEC, the Functional Executive Committee of the party. That is the highest decision body after NEC. And then to take a decision on this. I mean, the issue of forensic audit, every exhibition of this was a decision from Functional Executive Committee. And then so we're waiting on a meeting of the Functional Executive Committee to take a decision on this, their response. We will give them appropriate reply. We've taken note of what they have put in there, the 9-page, we've taken note of it. Some of the things they are talking, especially the issue of exhibiting the register online. Like council stated, how many people in my village can check their data online? How many people? You know the illiteracy rate in Ghana. That is why the framers of our constitution designed our electoral system on manual basis. They refuse electronic voting because of our illiteracy rate, and designed our electoral system based on manual process. We do everything manual. Apart from registering, go and register using the BVR to register you and put the data together. And some crooked people are sitting in the Electoral Commission manipulating the data. When we terminate the issue of register, no, we don't have business with any IT again. Because all the other processes are manual. We go and vote manual, we count manually, and we write the results on paper, known as pink sheet, the statement of who. We write it manually. We enter the figures onto the pink sheet manually, and we announce the results on the paper again manually. So that's why when we do an exhibition, we do manual exhibition. We print the pictures, everything, and you come and look at it and be sure that meaning that's my picture, I'm the one. This is my name. The way you spell that is not how my name is spelled. Then you correct. These are what we do on the exhibition. But when you now cross over to a state where somebody criminally minded sat in the office of the Electoral Commission and started displacing voters, moving them from one polling station to another in different constituencies, voter displacement, so that on election day, such people cannot vote. Although your name is in the register, but you cannot vote. You are here in Accra here. They put your name to Zwarungo polling station.
Doc, I'll come back to you, but let me hear from Martin Pibu on the way forward, away from independent audits and all. And you have been very categorical about removing certain persons from the EC because you don't believe that they deserve to be there. Away from all of that, a few months to the elections, so many decisions coming up, so many opinions from the various stakeholders coming up. What do you believe is the way forward to getting to one destination where all of the stakeholders will say that they are comfortable with the voters register and we should go into the elections with that voters register?
1, independent forensic audit. 2, exhibition of the voters register, and not just virtual online only, but also manually. This is the way to go.
Well, EC says that it will not do the audit. What other measures will be there?
As far as I'm aware, the last time, though I'm no longer a fan of the Peace Council, I understand the Peace Council is engaging the EC. So let's see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes.
And also, I think, the NDC had also talked to the U.S. ambassador, Virginia Palmer, right? And then there's also news that UNDP is ready to facilitate the process of the independent audit. So until we hear from all of these quarters that they've not been successful, I think we should still hope for the best, that it's doable. Wow. Yeah, very doable.
Well, finally, before you go, Movements for Change, NDC, they're all calling for a forensic audit. In the eyes of the law and in terms of the law, what can these parties, what options or avenues are available for them to explore if this forensic audit is not happening?
Well, the one is what NDC had already done, the demonstration. Yes, and I'm aware, not just me being aware, it's also in the news that they sent a reminder to the EC, right? And that was what also partly prompted the EC's response, because the EC hadn't responded to their first letter. So the NDC had said they would do another demonstration in a week's time. I think the last demonstration was last Tuesday, right? So it means that, yes, the Tuesday before this one. So it's been a week and some days. Yeah, so the NDC can hit the streets again. That's one of it. Then secondly, also they can explore the option of going to court, but it's needless. But it's also an option available. I think in all of this, the EC can help itself. They should agree to do the independent audit. It helps everybody. And then there will be protocols so that harmful quaches doesn't go into the register. So that Fourier J is not in charge of the electoral register. No, take out those party people so that Pierre Hine is not around the EC. At least J. says soon, we will then be compelled to live with it for this election at least.
Okay. Thank you, Martin Tebu. Now, Martin Tebu has prescribed some steps for the NDC. He's saying that the NDC can't hit the streets again if the Electoral Commission is saying that they are not going to have a forensic audit. But let me come back to you, Dr. Tanko. Well, we'll look at establishing contact again. We'll come back to speak with Dr. Tanko because he has an issue with the EC exhibiting the register online. And we will look at it and still explore what the NDC will do if they are going to take the suggestion by Martin Tebu in hitting the streets again or going to court. But I would like to explore what the NDC is looking at following this 9-paged response from the Electoral Commission. The NDC still maintains their stance that there should be an independent forensic audit on the voters register. They are not satisfied with the response from the EC and are still saying that there should be an independent forensic audit. Martin Tebu also agrees with them and says that indeed there should be a forensic audit. As for him, beyond the forensic audit, there are certain persons in the Electoral Commission that he believes must be removed with immediate effect because he says that they are not trustworthy to handle our voters register. Dr. Rashid Tanko, you were speaking on the exhibition of the voters register online. You seem not to agree with the online exhibition.
Well, dear, I was just giving you examples that looking at our illiteracy rate in Ghana, how many people understand online this exhibition or can go online to check their data? These are rural. 3/4 of our voters are from the rural areas. How many of them? I'm coming from a village. In my village, how many people can go online to check their names and others? You see, when we are doing this, we must be truthful to ourselves and must face the fact. This is a rural community we are dealing with.
But Dr. Tanko, that is why digitalization has been heightened in the country. Your flag bearer, former President John Mahama, has said that he will also enhance digitalization. The EC cannot always be a manual system like that. Digitalization has been enhanced just to look at some of these.
You don't just get up one day and say, I'm doing digitalization. That's not how you go about it. There's a processes you go through.
The EC says that
John Dramama knew of this, that we are cruising towards that. That's why he brought the fiber optic band from the Accra all the way to northern sector. built the fiber optic distance that paved way for these internet facilities that we are having all over the place. He knew what he was talking. When he built the Accra Digital Center and all that, he knew what he was doing. You know, he's a man of communication. That's his background. So he understands this better. It's not like this fanfooting these guys are doing over there. And that's not the kind of digitalization we are going about. But we are saying that in any case, look at the number of voters, the voter population in Ghana. I say 3/4 that are coming from the rural areas. How many of them can do online checking? To go on your website or online to check their data, how many of them?
Well, maybe that is where your constituency members will have to play a role. The leaders in your various constituencies, the executives, can't take it upon themselves that we are entering these constituencies, these places in our constituencies to help them to check online. Maybe in doing that,
we should do the work for the Electoral Commission. What are they people?
Dr. Tanko, you are also looking for votes. You are looking for votes, Dr.
I'm saying
Tanko.
that the fact that I'm looking for votes doesn't mean that some people, the relation of duty, I should pay for that. In any case, you see, there's one thing that we are not talking about. In all this scheme of things, you see that NCC is out of the scheme. Why is the NCC quiet? When we say these people have bastardized state institutions, you media, you are quiet. NCC, who is supposed to be doing voter education, educating the general public about processes of elections and all that, NCC is quiet. Have you heard anything from NCC? Why are they still there? And now, everybody is looking at Electoral Commission, but it's another state institution who is supposed to be doing voter education, and they should have come into this matter and make sure that the right thing is done, because they are going to be doing the civic education and all that. But they are quiet there because they have put all, go to the headquarters of NCC and you see party boys, party women organizers. They pack them in there.
Dr. Tanko, NCC has said that they are going, NCC mentioned that they are going on strike because of certain issues that they are waiting for TUC to handle for them. Maybe that could account for the reason why we are not seeing some of these education.
I'm saying that you don't put in party foot soldiers to head institution of that nature.
But Dr. Tanko, you seem to be drumming, to be beating this drum every time. All of the state institutions has only party foot soldiers. Doesn't that undermine the qualified people in the institutions, persons who have been recruited to work there, but you are clumping all of them together as party foot soldiers?
Dear, if you are going to base on qualification, then we are not going to have independent institution in Ghana.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Dr.
That's what you are telling me.
I said that you are lumping everybody together as party foot soldiers.
Oh, I am saying that leadership of those institutions are made up of party foot soldiers. Is that not true?
And because of that, it makes the whole institution.
The woman who is sitting there as the NCC commissioner, she was a woman organizer of MPP. How you forgotten? She's there. So
but Dr. Tanko, does that make the whole institution an institution of party foot soldiers?
Who takes the ultimate responsibility? Who takes the ultimate responsibility? I do not MPP man who is our president of Ghana.
Oh, then it makes all of us, then it makes the whole nation party foot soldiers, Dr. Tanko. Then you are a party foot soldier of the NPP, Dr. Tanko.
Instead of them to live above reproach, to know that we are no more running the country as a partisan state, but it's a state of Ghana. These people have rather changed their mind to running the country as if it's for MPP. Is that not what you are seeing now? That is why you are having all these problems. That is why you are having this problem. Until we begin to understand that, look, these kind of things, we must put a stop to it. Stop putting in hardcore party people to state independent institutions.
Well,
we are not saying that party people, when they are qualified, they cannot run certain departments, but certain critical independent bodies, we shouldn't be putting party foot soldiers over there. Because they're always thinking of the party first. They think that the party must be there because they believe that the appointment is tied to the apple string of the party government. And so they will do everything humanly possible to protect the interests of the party.
Dr. Tanko, I just want to remind you that the NCC is on strike. So instead of us saying that the NCC are not going, like as if they have abandoned their job when they are at office, letters stated that the NCC is on strike. Away from that, you are saying that
the CEO, the chief executive of NCC, in fact, she's not on strike. Did she come to announce that she's on strike? She and the deputies, are they on strike? Are they on strike?
Dr. Tanko, when we started this conversation, you were talking about the workers in there. Well, I don't want to believe that for every state institution, you are very insistent that it is party foot soldiers. Otherwise, I'll be asking if that is what the NDC did when the NDC was in power.
I'm saying that. Did you have that institution being occupied by a party? Was Afarjan an NDC person?
But it's Jean Mensa an MPP person.
Oh, yeah.
Was Charlotte Osei an NDC person?
You are still coming back. That's why I'm giving you this. You don't want us to end this conversation. I'm telling you that when Afarjan was appointed from 92 all the way, we've been with him. He presided over elections where we won. He presided over elections where MPP won. Crisscrossing. Okay. Charlotte Osei came. She was then heading NCC. Okay. She was somewhere far away in South Africa when she was brought down to come and head the NCC. Nobody knew her political colors. Nobody could pinpoint her to any party. When she was at NCC, nobody talked about it. She handled it very well until she was moved to become the director and the electoral commissioner. Under her tenure, MPP gave her hell of time. With all the machinations, she was able to contain them and form a committee, Justice Scrap Committee, to deal with their issues. She didn't say, I have the capacity, I am the commissioner, I'll allow my own commission to deal with your issue, like what they are doing now. She formed a committee to look at it, their grievances. And after their grievances, they went ahead and won election under Charlotte Osei. She declared them winner. And we handed over to them. Today, is that what you are seeing? As soon as these people came, do you know what they did? They started putting party boys over there. Who didn't know the Bosman Asari and all the other commissioners in there? Or you want us to give a profile of each of them?
Well,
you want us to give a...
Well, Dr. Tanko, someone will also give profiles of persons who worked in various institutions under your tenure.
That's what I'm saying, that this one, we have given our mind. We have spoken, we've written to the Council of State. Council of State replied us and said, yes, so long as the people are qualified, they are looking at qualification. Fair enough. We have taken it on board. We have no problem. Let them work. They are there as commissioners. We are not fighting them. They are not our enemies.
You are not fighting them, but at every opportunity you get, you take a jab at them.
We want people to know that these people are not independent as you are expecting it to be. They are not. They are party people. We let us be very clear about it. And so we are saying that they cannot be independent. This cannot make me, I cannot see a party foot soldier who sits on TV. You see me talking on TV every day. Is that not right? You see me defending NDC and I'm the rep of the NDC at IPAC and all that. You see me every day. And tomorrow, your mama appoints me as electoral commissioner. How will you feel? How will you take it? Tell me, how are you going to take it?
Well, Doc, you are the one who is giving your submission.
Is that what you are looking for in this country? And you expect me to be independent as commissioner of election, director of elections, and then now you become commissioner of election to conduct election, and then it will be free and fair. That's what Ghanaians are looking for.
But Doc, everybody has their political affiliations, whether they are loud about it or not.
Not politically tainted people who are publicly known, not people like that. Well, you don't bring them like that. Apiahini was the director of election for MPP in Bono region 2020. He collected everyone sent you the video of him on TV, on radio, talking and defending MPP all over. Do you want us to give you that one? And you play it on your station here, and the Ghanaians will see what I'm talking about.
Well, Doc, back to the response by the Electoral Commission to you, the NDC. You say you do not appreciate the response. Is it that you do not appreciate certain parts of the response, or the whole 9-page document is something you do not appreciate at all?
Well, I told you that functional executive committee of the party is going to sit on it. We will come out with an appropriate response. On some of them border on policy. And I don't want to double into that. We have our national chairman, our general secretary. My boss is there, Dr. Maniboma. They will look at it. We are all going to sit at FEC and we'll discuss it and give them an appropriate response. So you hold on. When we come out with the appropriate response, you see.
Prof, Doc, you are telling me to hold on again. this is another opportunity where you have told us to hold on. Will the NDC take a decision and take it fast? Because Ghanaians are in a hurry, are very much interested in what the NDC is going to do.
Yeah, we just received their response yesterday in the evening. In fact, it came after 3. That was the time we received the response. Most of our senior officers were in the field. We had to initially talk to the media about it, and I'm just talking because they are not coming. We have to meet. We don't just take decision off head. The senior officers, the national chairman, the general secretary, director of elections, and other heads of departments in the party will all come together. We'll meet. We'll study it, their response, and we'll give appropriate response. So don't worry. Keep your fingers crossed.
We should. Okay, okay, Doc. But EC maintains that their systems are crisp, and they have maintained that they have all the trust in the integrity of their systems. Because of that, no forensic audit. In any case, they have even dismissed the district officer in Pusiga over the voter transfers that happened. The IEC is taking various steps to assure the Ghanaian people that we are credible at the work we are doing. We know what we are doing. Trust us to do the work we want to do. At the moment, NDC says that we do not trust you. Away from the independent audit, if that does not happen at all, NDC, will you trust the results? Let's say you win the elections come December 7. Are you going to trust that announcement?
Yeah. You want to take the wind out of the sail of my senior officers. I say you should wait for our response. And you want me to give you a response. Why not wait for our response?
Doc, I'll make sure to come back to you for the response when it happens.
I have no problem. We are here for you people. We make sure that we are transparent. In fact, we are now using the word transparent than the Electoral Commission. So you don't worry. You hear from us.
Doc, EC says that come to the discussion table, come and speak with them. Will you be going there? Before you answer that question, please make sure you answer that question for me. They have dismissed the Pusiga district officer. What do you have to say on that? They are showing you everything.
I'm saying dismissing. That's a firefighting dismissal. Do you know the person they are supposed to be interdicting is a returning officer, not the district officer? The returning officer doesn't do transfer. That's why I'm saying that if you look at their document, they were not quoting from CI 127.
Doc, it seems that anything
the one who does transfers, the one who does transfers is the returning officer, not district officer. It is the returning officer who does transfers per the law.
So you are not
the returning district officer.
So you are not okay with it.
If they are going to go that tangent, then they should be prepared to sack a lot of people by next week, because we will give them a lot of evidence to show that they are going to sack a lot of people. I think I have to end the discussion.
Doc, I asked the question and I said that I'm looking forward to your answer.
I need to join a very important call from our leader. So please, I think we'll defer this one later. I told you we'll respond appropriately.
I'll come back to you, Doc.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Tanko Rashid is the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC. Earlier, Martin Pebu, who is a legal practitioner, joined us on our discussion on EC's response to the NDC. The EC says that they are very credible and they maintain that their system has all of the integrity that the system has to have. So they are not going to accept that an independent forensic audit is conducted on the voters register. They again have said that those 243,540 votes that were transferred were legal transferred, not illegal transfers. So the EC has said that, and like I said earlier, they are very confident in their IT systems. We've had this conversation on the EC on the main discussion on ABC in the morning. Thank you for staying with us. Take a breather with us. We will be back.
advertise your brand or business on ABC News GH Television, call us on 030-278-8645 or 050-993-0360 to secure your slot.
Attention business owners, it's time to take your business to the next level with ABC News GH Television's mega promo. From August 1st to October 31st, 2024, we're offering you unbeatable deals to advertise your products and services. Don't miss out on this amazing chance to reach more people and grow your brand. For more details, give us a call on 050-993-0360. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Follow us on social media at ABC News GH_. Attention business owners, it's time to take your business to the next level with ABC News GH Television's mega promo. From August 1st to October 31st, 2024, we're offering you unbeatable deals to advertise your products and services. Don't miss out on this amazing chance to reach more people and grow your brand. For more details, give us a call on 050-993-0360. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Follow us on social media at ABC News GH_. Attention business owners, it's time to take your business to the next level with ABC News GH Television's mega promo. From August 1st to October 31st, 2024, we're offering you unbeatable deals to advertise your products and services. Don't miss out on this amazing chance to reach more people and grow your brand. For more details, give us a call on 050-993-0360. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Follow us on social media at ABC News GH_. Attention business owners, it's time to take your business to the next level with ABC News GH Television's mega promo. From August 1st to October 31st, 2024, we're offering you unbeatable deals to advertise your products and services. Don't miss out on this amazing chance to reach more people and grow your brand. For more details, give us a call on 050-993-0360. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Follow us on social media at ABC News GH_.
it into politics today. Politics today, we'll take a look at a very interesting conversation. But before that, this is breaking news coming from the Global Info Analytics. And they say that Alan Tremantin and Nana Kwame Bediako, popularly known as Cheddar, are polling in the double digits and are asking if this would cause a runoff in the December 2024 elections. We will get the details and then subsequently discuss it with you, our cherished viewers. But let's get into politics today. Today on Politics Today, we are taking a musical journey through Ghana's political landscape. Between our elections and music, there is a very direct correlation. We can't do our Ghanaian elections without music. It drives the elections, it drives the campaigns and all. Joining me for this conversation is Samuel from our political desk. Samuel, we are looking at Ghana's elections and especially the impact campaign songs has on the elections. You have been following the elections extensively. Would you say that there is some impact on the outcome of the elections based on the campaign songs?
Yeah, one thing is for sure. If you look at polling, in terms of polling, I wouldn't be able to categorically say that music or the campaign songs has a direct impact on elections result. But what has been known is that campaign songs are very viable tools for campaigning. They are very viable tools for political parties and the candidate to market their policies and their campaigns to the people. And these songs resonate across board. So what has become the norm is that political parties every election 4 years seek to get that one popular song that carries their message across.
One popular song. One thing we have also realized is that apart from the songs that have been tailor-made for the political parties, these political parties at certain points also adopt mainstream songs. Yeah. Songs that people have or artists have already put out there and decide that this is the song we are going to use for the elections. And it resonates with people. Recently, King Paluta has been one of those artists whose songs have been captured. Yeah. Both from NDC and NPP. So I want to take a journey through the political campaign songs. Yeah. We'll start from 2008. Take a listen. in 2008 for the NPP.
Very much so.
Nana Addo was number 1 on the ballot then.
Yeah, and they carried a song called titled "Oya Number One," the number 1 song, and it resonated across board. And then,
however, Nana didn't
win that election. That was the surprising thing. But the other song, the first one, the Daddy Lumba song,
yes,
the winner, that song resonated across board. And even today, people argue that it has been the best political campaign song in the history of the Fourth Republic. And
well,
if you look at what that song did in 2008, they played it in 2008 when Akufo-Addo lost the election. In 2012, they played it again.
Right.
It was used in 2012, used in 2016, and even in 2020, after he had won the elections, this song was still resonating with the voters and electorate.
When we went on the campaign trail,
yeah,
there was one thing I paid attention to. No matter how dull a place was,
yeah,
anytime a song came up,
the whole place
charged, electrified.
That is it. That's what campaign songs are meant to do. If I've engaged some political analysts and marketers, and they tell me that these are strategies that the political parties have gone to, or have come to know that it is viable. It is a viable means to campaign. Because sometimes, like you mentioned, sometimes it's not even the message. They don't listen. People, when you get to like a rally, people don't really get time to listen to the message, the policies, or maybe at a manifesto launch. People don't have time for the detailed policies. All they just want is a song that they can dance to, they can sing to, a song that they can resonate, the lyrics, the beat of the song. And since 2008, in fact, in 2008, NPP took charge of the elections with the songs. They mastered the art, but unfortunately they still couldn't win the elections.
But there were 2 songs that the NPP used. They were not songs that were played for the NPP, but the NPP capitalized on it.
They tapped into it.
Yeah, they tapped into it and used it a lot. Maybe we should take a listen to those 2.
Yeah.
Make him go, don't try stop him. Make him go, the girl them love him. Make it play, don't try stop him. Make it play, fans them love him. Oh no no yeah nah the oh chance yeah, no ya pada kiti. Any no, ni den dum de biara do. No way. A man you not original. I be you the friend say you go for it. They can talk you something now. Say, ga go go. Go, ga go, ga go go. Make you say I'm loud now. Go, ga go go. Say where you are is not your limit, yo. Abi. Ga go go. Where you are is not your limit, yo. Ga go go. The sky is your limit. Ga go go. The sky is your limit. Ga go go. Don't be content with where you are, oh Abi. Go go go. Jesus is your power. Go go ga go ga go. Jesus is your strength, yo. Ga go go. We just stop for with you, Abi Abi. Ga go go. We just stop for with you. Go 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 go. You see that this is a gospel song, obviously, but at that time, NPP was still in power, hoping to break the 8 at that time. So it was let's move forward, let's go high. And indeed, it resonated with Ghanaians. And it goes to talk about tolerance in the country. Because if we can pick a Christian song and be so comfortable that any political party can run with it and everybody will be comfortable.
Yeah, and that's the thing. the political parties have also learned one thing. If they have a song that is already known, that has links to their message or what they are trying to put out there, they just tap into it. Sometimes they do a remix of the song and just put a few words, do a few touches into it. And this song like this, in 2008, they took advantage of it, used it. There were other songs like Christiana Lau's Moving Forward, which was like they wanted to move forward from
yes, with their kangaroo hand.
And you know, that kangaroo hand, I think football lovers also would
like the yes, Junior Agogo
2008, the AFCON that happened in Ghana was also one of the good celebrations. People were Junior Agogo did it, Michael Essien did it, so it was something the party also tapped into it and saw that they wanted to move forward, so they just used that. But beyond that, if you move from 2008 to 2012, we have some very good songs.
Yes, and let's listen to the 2012 songs. I believe we'll have some NDC songs featured there.
Yeah, that is when. So the thing is, in 2012, that is when the NDC also realized the importance
of
music in political campaigns, and they also took advantage of it from 2012. And I bet to say that since 2012, NDC has had some of the best campaign songs in the country.
Well, let's take a listen to the 2012 campaign songs too.
Make him go, don't try stop him. Make him go, the girl them love him. Make him play, don't try stop.
Juni Van Satamil Satitene by John Dramani Mahama Ye, not your man as Shannon San.
Montuma John Mahama, Montuma John Mahama, Montuma John Mahama, Montuma John Mahama.
And Puntinumantina, and Rantiana said, Namabawe, and Cocrafo, and Marawa Phone say,
Montuma John Mahama, Montuma John Mahama, Montuma John Mahama, Montuma John Mahama.
Juni Van Satamil Satitene by John Dramani Mahama Ye, not your man as Shannon San.
Montuma John Mahama, Montuma John Mahama, Montuma.
There's also a song for John Mahama in the 2012 elections.
Yeah, and that was the first time he was coming to contest as the presidential candidate for the National Democratic Congress. You remember after the sad demise of the then president, Prof.
Ivan Satamil.
And
you can see that they built on that
he
in
took
the
over
intro of the song.
Yeah, he took over and then won the the flag bearership race of the party, contested as the flag bearer for the party in the 2012 elections. And in the lead to the election, then this song also came up, Montuma John Mahama. That song was nice as well.
Playing on certain things that are very common in growing up.
Yeah.
Dende,
yeah.
Like hugging somebody and all of these things.
Dende, and
yes.
that was a very
well, there's so many songs to play, 2012, 2016. So let us not bore our viewers with so many words.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's look at the 2016.
Yes, let's listen to the songs that are available.
with money. Mama, mama, mama. Organ number 2, mahani. Suku wadai, hospitals. Akwe papa, sedana beya. Ye bedi ye, ye humba to ye. Ma, 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 ma.
Rantemuri inna anoni gira. Okada, Okada,
The nation builder, Mahama, run up your with money. Mahama.
Mahama birthday 8. Mahama, cycle interchange.
Hey, we will break the 8. We gonna break the 8. It is possible. Who crew do that? Rado so. They say one year na obey you. Hey, 1 year na obey. Yeah, I sit in a move for penny. So Abamano. Hey, I know. Dr. Mamudu Bawomia would ya to Abamano. Ayonoa Warriors Kukurumotina Nayapa Ayo Kukurumotina Nayapa Bawomia Mamudu Bawomia.
So you've heard them, you've watched, you've seen how much campaign songs play a role in our elections. We literally we are able to connect a particular political party with the song we hear.
Yeah.
So much so that for people who are, for want of a better word, fanatics, after an election, they don't even want to associate with a certain song because this song reminds them of a political party.
Yeah.
I mean, we looked at 2008 through to 2024. This year, from where you sit on reporting on political stories, do you think that the campaign songs are also going to have an effect on the elections?
I think that what campaign songs might do in this election is that it would push the messages of the candidates, the parties to the people. If you look at the NDC's recent song, 24-Hour Economy, I think it was in Nasi, composed by Nasi and sung by him. You look at that song, it carries every message that you need to know about the 24-hour economy. So if this song is played everywhere, or is played on the media spaces or even on campaign grounds, it helps to sell the message, and it helps people to resonate with the 24-hour economy, what policy of the party. You look at Bawumia's song that the last one like this. It also had messages in it, what Bawumia is promising, the jobs for youth and digitalization and all of this. So these are the things that the songs would do in this campaign season. But as to whether it would be a key major influencing factor in voting, I really doubt that.
How about the musicians, the artists who compose the songs? Obapa Christie has composed the song for Bawumia. Diana Samoa is a friend of the NPP. Everybody knows that she composes music for the NPP. We've seen Nasi, we've seen Jakalolomi with the NDC. We've seen the people in the creative arts industry, especially the music sector, with the two major political parties. if the songs are not going to play a certain, not too much of a big role, how about the personalities themselves?
Yeah, the personalities also carry weight. Celebrity endorsement is one other way politicians use to get votes. If you look at the election since 2008, we have celebrities that endorsed Akufo-Addo. In 2012, they did say. And since 2016, we have celebrities that endorsed John Mahama. 2020 endorsed them, and they came publicly. And if you have musicians who are well known, who have a lot of supporters out there endorsing your message, endorsing you with even a song, then it goes a long way to push your agenda. You look at 2020 elections, Sarkodie, award-winning Ghanaian rapper, people say he's the best in terms of rap in Africa. Just put in a line, Nana Twaso, in his song with Kwame Eugene, and it escalated, set the agenda for the NPP, and they used the song. People say he didn't make the song for the party, but just a line, because of who he is. When he puts that line inside there, it sells the message. So that's what the personalities also bring on board. Beyond the songs, these personalities, the singers, the musicians. Samini also came with Boyaka, yes, for Akufo-Addo. And after that Boyaka, we saw the message. He most of the times they get backlash from supporters of the opponent, because let's say I am a supporter of Samini, and I expect that Samini, I'm an NDC person, I expect maybe Samini to support NDC, and all of a sudden Samini comes with a song for the NPP. I'll be sad about it. So some people will lash out at the musicians, but in the long run, the musicians also help the political parties. You look at a song like Unapu, that song was huge. And that was 2016, and it had a line, John 3:16, yes, John 3:16, and Mahama Unapu, and it was huge. That song, it was later we all got to realize that it was composed by Nasi. So he wrote the song, but he didn't sing it. And so these are the things. And since the Nasi has had a message attached to all the songs he sings for the NDC, and now the 2024 election, he has the 24-hour economy song, which is a very nice song. And then you have another one, the victory song, a victory remix. Now if you follow the NDC, their campaign, these are the songs they play on the campaign grounds. Yes. Wherever Mahama is going, they are parliamentary candidates and they are on the ground. These are the songs they play. And when they play it, like you mentioned earlier, the atmosphere gets charged, because people are able to find expression with their songs. And that's happening same for Bawumia. Now Bawumia is going back to the old 2008 NPP strategy, using gospel songs. So they are using Dinah Asamoah gospel, they are doing a rendition or a remix of Dinah Asamoah gospel songs and using it to push their message. And that is also a form of emotional appeal, because people find emotions in our, you know how Ghanaians are with the religion. We have a lot of Christians, about 70% of the population are Christians. So when you have a song that is purely a religious song, and then you're able to do a rendition or a remix of it, pushing the party songs, and they play it on the grounds. I follow the Bawumia campaign as well, and if they play this song, sometimes even you, the journalist, if you're not lucky, you get yourself emotional.
You get yourself emotional. So I mean, we have a few days, and we have more days to the elections, and we'll definitely be revisiting this conversation and seeing the impact on the election. So this is Politics Today on ABC in the Morning. We have looked at the impact of campaign songs in the election outcome. Let's take a breather. We'll be back with Happy Hour. Stay with us. morning. Thank you for staying with us. Before we go, let's take a look at Happy Hour, where we ask you to send your birthday wishes, your well wishes, all of the wishes you have for your friends and family, especially entering into the weekend. First on Happy Hour, we have a wish coming from some children to their parents. So let us take a look at this. Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, Apia Thompson, are celebrating their 40th anniversary. This must be really huge. And coming from Mensima and her siblings, they say, happy 40th anniversary to the most amazing couple I know. Mom and Dad, your love and commitment to each other are an inspiration to me and everyone around you. 4 decades of marriage, laughter, tears, and adventures together are a testament of your unbreakable bond. We are so grateful to have you both as role models in our lives. Your love, support, and guidance mean the world to us. Here's to many years of happiness, love, and making more unforgettable memories together. Cheers to both of you. So coming from Mensima and her siblings, they say happy anniversary to their parents. This is a congratulations message to Solomon and his wife Linda on their union. Congratulations on your union. We are beyond thrilled to welcome Linda into our family. May your love continue to grow stronger with each passing day. Wishing you a lifetime of happiness, laughter, and adventure together. From the Ojo siblings. So to Solomon and your wife who are getting married tomorrow, your Solomon siblings say that happy marriage to you and they wish you well. So that is all for ABC in the morning today. Thank you for joining us. We are so grateful you joined us, for giving us a great week of your attention. We come to you same time next week. Have a wonderful weekend, and we wish and pray for you that you have a most amazing one. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Abna Mante.